Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey y'all, welcome. Happy Friday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon. Let's start that over again. Take two, bitch. Welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically get into all the things going on in celebrity news, hot topics, whatever is trending in these good old internet streets and regarding celebrity news and pop culture. We talk about it on this good old show. So, if you could do me a solid and hit that like button and that subscribe button, and also smash the notification button, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And we have a couple of topics we want to get into today. I'm not trying to make this episode too long because I ain't going to be busy, so that's why I'm on early, trying to give you a little something. So we got to talk. There's a lot of Diddy news. Suge Knight is speaking out, putting a lot of powerful execs on blast. Diddy's planning on testifying in his upcoming trial. 50 Cent's Docuseries on Diddy has landed at Netflix. We got some information on that. We got Carl Winslow himself, Reginald VelJohnson, coming out and saying he never met Diddy. He don't know that man. He ain't never had sex with him, and he ain't never been to a freak off. So we got that. Plus, Lance Bass is throwing a little shade and giving us a little inside tea on Diddy, and said that Diddy may have something to do with Justin Timberlake leaving the group and going solo. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, of course, I got to talk about my trash. I got to watch it. First couple of minutes, it can't be cussing up in the thing. I trash behind New York City Mayor Adams, who has been indicted. They charged with fraud, accepting $10 million in improper campaign contributions, and a whole lot more. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, speaking of funds and stealing and all that other stuff, lying, stealing, and double dealing, we're going to talk about Miss Naomi Campbell, who has been banned for being a charity trustee because she was using the funds for her own personal gain, for like luxury hotel rooms, spa treatments, cigarettes, and a whole lot of stuff. And then plus we got to get into this Cardi B and Offset messy divorce situation, how they just love taking their business to social media instead of just keeping it in-house. Excuse me. Plus, speaking of messy relationships, we got to talk about Wendy Williams, ex Kevin Hunter, wants her to attend divorce court hearing. And, after she disappeared in public, I guess because he's broke and he want to get his hands on her money. And because I don't even think that man ever loved that woman. But anyway, we're going to talk about that. Plus, Hughley still throwing shade at Miss Janet Jackson. And so we got to get into that. And plus, Lady Gaga is giving fans an update on when her new album will be released. LG7, not Harley Quinn. So yeah, we got all of that and a whole lot more coming up. So yes, if you haven't already, please hit that like button and that subscribe button and smash the notification button. Let me hit that banner. I see we got Onyx up in here messaging early. I actually thought about going live at 10:45 instead of 11 because I was already ready. I was ready by like 10:30 this morning. But I was like, let me just keep it as the number and then come on time. And I was on time today. So I was basically said Harley Quinn was better than Chromatica and definitely better than. Oh, okay, we got a fan. Because I've been hearing mixed messages. I heard a couple of the songs. I'm like, okay, it's Gaga giving jazz Gaga. And I'm like, she's got a great voice. I love her, that mezzo soprano that she has. So, I like, Lady Gaga sing her ass off when she needs to. We know that she's someone who's a bit of a, what do you call it? That she's versatile. That she's somebody who can jump in and out of different genres, and her voice basically, helps that, or whatever you want to call it. So, or supports the different genres of music that she wants to jump in. It's funny because I was just talking to, Robert yesterday. Well, we had talked about this on the show before in regards of how it'd be, back in the day, we used to allow artists to try different things and jump in and out of different genres and be more versatile and expand on their talents. But now it just seems like, because if you do one genre of music, with the way the algorithms and stuff works, they kind of push you into just, oh, well, this is the stuff you need to listen to a lot, unless you following a certain artist or you're mainstream and there's a way that they get their stuff pushed out there. You're not even going to know if they're doing whatever kind of music. But from what I heard, based off the album, a couple of friends of mine who listened to it, some of them was like, oh, it just didn't give me what I needed. They prefer pop gaga. Unfortunately, that's just the way I guess people like. They like all the kooky costumes. They like the catchy songs. They don't want this jazzy stuff. Like if she want to do her little side residencies or whatever the case is, because she can't be out there doing all that crazy choreography forever. If she wanted to, she can just become when it comes down to the career ain't what it is, she could just become like one of them old Frank Sinatra as a lounge singers in Vegas and give y'all a little something something in her little sequin gown and hold her little microphone and just give y'all an Adele type show. like a little speakeasy or something like that, a juke joint. So I can just see her doing something like that as she gets older. And that works. But unfortunately, it's like, yeah, I think a lot of us prefer like the over the top, the electronic stuff. And I'm shocked that you saying that you liked it better than Chromatica and Joanne. I mean, there's songs on Chromatica I like, but I don't like it fully as an album. I feel like Chromatica, it felt a little it felt like it was thrown together, I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's some songs on there that stand out, but to me, it's just like, it's not her best body of work. And it came and went. But she worked her ass off promoting that damn tour. And the tour was good. But yeah, the songs just wasn't given. So hopefully with this new album, it will. But anyway, let's get to our first topic. And let's talk about, I got to close my YouTube. I got all this stuff open. Let's talk about Suge Knight, who, was speaking from prison. I should have pulled this clip up too, because he was on News Nation. I'm just like, I guess they just be pulling everybody up. Oh, wait, no. I need this to actually open. Why isn't it opening? I hate when you try to pull things up and the damn thing, the window don't want to open or whatever the case is. But yeah, so he was on News Nation with Chris Cuomo, which I think they lean conservative. I don't know if I don't know. I don't think they're in the middle. I do feel like they lean far more conservative. Like they're in a way like similar to Fox News, because feel like some of the people that was on Fox News and some of the people that was on um one of them other network. What was it? CNN. Where the hell was Chris Cuomo from? I think he was on CNN. Like a lot of them that come from there, they okay. Biden, you out your damn mind. He said he would have been done. He would have beat Donald Trump if he stayed in the 20. No, you wouldn't have. I'm sorry, but you wouldn't have. And as somebody who was a registered Democrat, you would not have been able to beat Donald Trump. You could barely stitch words together. Well, first of all, y'all both can't do that. Y'all both sound a hot ass mess. You're both too damn old to be up there. And I don't want to sound like I'm an ageist, but yeah, y'all both too damn old to be up there trying to okay, so I don't know. This is not opening. I can't find it. I'm not gonna sit up in here and try to scroll through the damn shade room with all they damn little videos and try to find this thing. So I'm gonna just read it. Because anybody got time for that. It's just too much. So yeah, so Suge Knight basically called into Chris Cuomo's show on News Nation, and he basically, for those of you who are not aware, he is serving 28 years in the jail for running over and unaliving somebody. And he basically said that his artists used to only smoke weed, but allegedly got into heavier drugs once they were signed to other record labels. So he wanted to try to make it seem like, oh, because he was at death row, that he was Mr. Congeniality. And it's like, sir, who are you trying to fool with this foolishness? We all know, especially those of us who came up in the 90s, what Suge Knight was all about. So he's sitting up in here trying to act like, what, that he was Mary Poppins? Perfect in every way? I mean, if that was the case, your behind wouldn't be in jail right now. So he said those guys, they introduced Booger Sugar to my artist. This is what he alleged to host Chris Cuomo in a phone call from prison. He said, so once they got on the Booger Sugar, once they got on drugs, once they got on alcohol, then that's when the weird stuff happened. I think that's what took Puffy down that lane. So who exactly is he implying that may have supplied Puffy? Because that was another name that Wendy Williams likes to call him. Like he would go and say, he came out with like 5,000 little acronyms or little names or, aliases, whatever the case is. But one of the things I loved about Wendy, she stayed calling his ass Puffy. Excuse me. So they said that the convicted felon. Oh wait, why is my damn Alexa coming on? My phone is acting a fool today. But anyway, let's get back into the show. So it says the convicted felon went on to allege that Clive Davis, Russell Simmons, and Andre Harrell used alcohol, drugs to compromise Combs's manhood. Well, I wouldn't be surprised because Clive Davis half a homosexual, a deeply closeted woman. Was like, Miss Mamas, we know about you. And allegedly, they said he turned out Whitney Houston too. But anyway, she was on that booger sugar long before she became famous. So her brother introduced her to that. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of influence or whatever the case was, or something going on between Clive and Whitney. I'm not saying sexual, but where there was like an exchange of drugs and a way for him to like control or whatever the case is. He also, so he's saying Russell Simmons and Andre Harrell give me Butch Queen vibes too. So they said Combs was taught that he got Usher as a kid. Alcohol, drugs, sex, Justin Bieber, and see they do these things to take control. You choose. Now this is the part that pissed me off because it's like, no, this is not true. So he said, you choose to be gay. That's your preference. First of all, when it comes to being gay, we do not choose it. It is in our DNA. We don't just wake up one morning and decide, oh, you know what? I feel like putting a peen in my mouth or in my butt, or I want to put my peen in somebody's butt and in their mouth. That's not how being gay works. And the preference thing, I'm about tired of people saying preference. Because they say, oh, that's what you prefer. I'm like, that's just, it's in the DNA. It's just who we are. It's a part of who we are. So the preference thing, we know what y'all mean when y'all say preference. Like we choosing it, basically in that sense. He said, but they're doing this to people for control. Now, I do think that there is a difference between, because I feel like, isn't that like a prison mentality as a way to like control somebody or to have like power over them? So you use, sex or drugs or whatever the case is to manipulate and to use and to violate somebody to have them under your spell. And don't get me wrong, child, I heard stories about Usher getting down with men of the same gender. So I would not be surprised. And then when you go and you pull Justin Bieber in that situation, because what was the word? It's like when you get in the industry and they tap you in, it's all like you being a part of this little circle of stuff going on inside and in and around the industry, especially if you want to have that big major career. Some people do get turned out depending on who you around. And I wouldn't be surprised about Diddy. And I always said about Diddy, what I think it is, I don't think it was like something that somebody just threw on him. That it's like, oh yeah, it took drugs or all this other stuff to get him into dudes. I feel like he always had them tendencies. It's just the fact of the matter is when you come into a certain type of situation, especially the entertainment industry, and especially when you growing up in the hood or parts of, if you grew up in the hood and you Black and you in New York, having sex with guys, you had to keep that on the hush. You had to keep that down on the down low, as they would say. So it's like you can get in and you can, hook up or do whatever the case was, but you had to keep it quiet because it was like this business, especially when you're talking about hip hop, is extremely homophobic. So you couldn't be out of the closet and doing those other stuff. You had to keep that behind closed doors. And a lot of times there's that religious guilt. So when you have that religious guilt, or as I would call it, because I was raised Catholic guilt, where it's like whether or not you pleasuring yourself, which they tell you ain't supposed to be doing, which I don't understand how you don't be doing that. They always say sex is only supposed to be for procreation. First of all, sex should not be the only time you out here making a damn baby. That's ridiculous. Sex is supposed to be pleasurable, but in religion they teach you that it's not. So, and especially when you hear them things about homosexuality, and you hear abomination and all that other mess. So you don't think that's something that is going to make someone who has those feelings feel away? So there's an overall shame with that, and so a lot of times people feel like they need alcohol and drugs to help them get through that sense of sexual euphoria. So there's a whole layer, there's a bunch of layers to that, or when it comes to that situation. So I think it's a lot deeper than what Suge is trying to put out here in these streets. So they said David Simmons and Harrell have never been charged with the allegations made by Knight. Page Six cannot independently confirm whether Knight's claims are true. And I was like, what they gonna do? Sue him? He ain't getting out of jail. So he could just run around saying whatever the hell it is that he want to say. I guess it's not going, It's not going to do him any good, or it's not going to hurt him no way. Now, a spokesperson for Davis emphatically denies and the claims made about the legendary music producer. Damn, Clive Davis is 92? Well, I don't think he was younger than that. But they said this is completely fabricated thread that is being trafficked by an incarcerated felon. Child, and that's a read. Mr. Knight's assertions about Clive Davis are 100% false, as nothing of the sort ever happened. The spokesperson adds Clive is a mentor to artists, and in keeping with this, never ever condoned any such inappropriate behavior. Well, no, that's true, because once upon a time not long ago, when all this mess was coming out about the diddler, especially with the accusations with him and Cassie, Clive Davis still had the diddler at his after party, his notorious Grammy after party, still had him on the invitation list. So for y'all to sit up here and try to act like that Clive Davis is innocent in all of this, and the fact that, oh, he's a mentor, he would never put anybody in harm's way. I don't know what was going on behind the scenes in the record industry and what he was privy and not privy to. But all I know is if these accusations was coming out about Diddy, you still had this man coming up in your situation. So it's like, did you believe the victim, or is it that you just continue to just blindly stand by Diddy until, like we see now that the snowball effect has happened and everything is coming out, now you have people, everybody named Mama got a story about going to a Diddy party or encountering him at an event, being an award show, in passing at a record label, probably at MTV, be it TRL or whatever. Everybody got a story now. So they said Davis, who was president of Columbia Records and spearheaded the careers of stars like Whitney Houston, Barry Manilow, and Aerosmith, has never been accused or convicted of any crimes of the sexual kind. Yet he has proven to be loyal to Diddy. So they said in January, after Combs was sued by ex Cassie Ventura for the R word, Davis stood by the Bad Boy for Life rapper and did not disinvite him from his annual pre-Grammys bash, which I just said. So I don't know what to believe when it comes to the diddler. I said, "Ooh, look at Usher giving Bush Queen teas, sitting next to Miss Clive." But yeah, child, look at this photo. And look at Rick Ross, who they also was trying to out, talking about he a homosexual. Him and DJ Khaled. Watch out for the big girls. Big girls, big girls. So they said Page Six also reached out to a rep for Simmons, as Knight also named him but didn't hear back. Well, yeah, he probably out in Bali. They probably ain't got no damn phone. What do you call it? No, do they got that good old Wi-Fi out there? It's a Def Jam Recordings co-founder who's 66 has not spoken out about the allegations made against Combs. Well, he's not going to unless some stuff start coming out. He ain't said nothing. And Jay-Z, a lot of them haven't said anything. And I feel like that's kind of what he was, Suge was implying. The fact that you have a lot of these people that work behind the scenes, like a Jay-Z and a Russell Simmons and these other people who are just keeping quiet, because I'm sure they know a lot of what was going on behind the scenes. Now, we already know about the controversy surrounding Russell Simmons, so he got his own mess that he got to worry about, allegedly, R-wording a couple of women, victimizing people, and things of that nature. So now, Harrell, who mentored Combs, was never charged with crimes either, the S crime. They say he died from heart failure in 2020 at the age of 59. So they haven't heard from his estate. Now, Page Six, they said, also reached out to reps for Combs, Bieber, and Usher for comment on whether there is any validity to Knight's allegations, but our request will not immediately return. Well, first of all, you're probably not going to hear from Usher. He busy out here talking about we falling for mess off his Twitter. But I'm like, child, the people still think that there was some stuff going on behind the scenes with you, especially when you were 13 living with Diddy when you shouldn't have been. So I'm sure you was privy and you have seen some things and probably was, guys was up in them freak offs. And we've seen the photos online of like adult women and how they be touching all up on the young boys. Like when they brought up, we see this footage now of Justin Bieber where you had Katy Perry grabbing his butt. I don't know how old he was when she did it, but ma'am, why are you up in here feeling that little boy? And what the irritation for me is the hypocrisy. Now, if there was a dude that did that to a 17, 16, 18-year-old Ariana Grande, y'all want him canceled. But because we got Jenny McCarthy, pre all that damn wrestling, plastic surgery, and new teeth, kissing on him, and then you got Katy Perry grabbing his ass, that's okay. Because that's a rite of passage. But boys get abused too. So we're going to stop trying to do this whole thing of girls are weak, girls need to be protected, but guys just, if somebody grabs my junk or grabs my ass, and I'm a kid, so I'm trying to just figure out my way through life, not even thinking about sex or whatever the case is, I got to man up. We got to stop doing that. So, and then I've seen some recent pictures of Justin Bieber too. He looked terrible. First of all, he was looking gaunt. He looks he was looking like child. He looked like he got a spot in Skid Row. That's how bad he was looking. Like he ain't washed in days. And I don't think it has to do with the stress of Haley pushing out their child. But he's just been looking dangerously thin. So I don't know if it's stress, a lot of the trauma with this whole Diddy thing, that things are starting to, when you hear all this in the news everywhere, because everybody's talking about it, everywhere you turn, everywhere you look, there's a Diddy story. So I can imagine those who have been victimized, they're probably reliving some of these traumas over and over again. And the only thing they have control over is their body. Now they do, but at the time they didn't. So you can cause damage where it's like, I'm not eating, I'm not taking care of myself because all that trauma that he probably hasn't dealt with. Because I'm sure I don't know, I feel like something went down with him. And especially when you got somebody nasty behind like Diddy trying to prey on somebody like Justin Bieber. Because here's the thing, Justin Bieber was a little cutie back in the day. And when you looking like how he looked, you don't think there'd be some more nasty behind men that want to prey on somebody that look like him with all them tattoos, where you can kind of judge him up to look like a little wigger? You don't think that there's gonna be grown ass men out here that's gonna try to prey on him like this? Like they be treating the music industry like it's Rikers Island, where they try to sun these boys. So I definitely feel for Bieber. I do feel like him and Usher was victimized, but he ain't gonna come out and say nothing. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are y'all here for what Suge and I had to say, or do you feel like Suge, just keep your behind in jail, mind the business that pay you? Or maybe what you could have did was put that as part of your little prison podcast that you be doing. First of all, how the hell you in jail and you got a podcast? You got a podcast? Like, where you get the equipment from? Excuse me. Isn't that basically, because I feel like I've heard clips or whatever. And it's like, what do? Just like get on the phone and with your little dimes and you just be recording the whole thing and then have somebody just push it out on Spotify and Apple Music? Like, how does that work? So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Now let's move on. Speaking of Diddy news, let's get into this whole thing about the possibility that his attorney, who in my opinion need to just STFU and stop talking. Like in the words of Whoopi Goldberg, girl, please stop talking. Please stop talking right now. Because this man, I feel, there's a thing where it's like, okay, so you're a lawyer, you work for a high profile celebrity, but I don't feel like that's enough for a lot of these people. That's why you be seeing a lot of these big, these little nobody celebrities that have all this money. They go on these reality shows like The Housewives and all that other stuff, because it's like that fame is a drug that is way more addicting than booger sugar, the Tucci, the Fenty, all of that stuff. So I feel like this attorney that Diddy has wants to be famous because he just been talking to everybody who will listen. I'm seeing him doing outdoor press conferences. I'm seeing him doing a documentary on the Tubi channel with TMZ, which is where I got this following story from. As in, when he did there's a Diddy documentary. First of all, they got all these damn Diddy things everywhere. They got a Diddy special on Hulu. I just saw when I was scrolling through it, Hulu yesterday. And then they have a Tubi docuseries or documentary. And now we have the 50 Cent one coming, which is going to be the next story. But I don't want to jump the boom boom gun yet. So let's just stick with this thing with this attorney, who, in my opinion, Diddy, you need to fire him because you know what, the way that this whole thing is running, you going to jail. I mean, you already in jail, but you just gonna keep going to jail. You gonna stay in there. You ain't getting out. So Diddy, because now they talking about he gonna take the stand, which I think is a mistake. Why are you gonna get on the stand? What are you defending? First of all, they got so much evidence against you, so you're not getting out of this alive. You're not. Not saying he gonna die, but I'm just saying, like, metaphorically speaking, you ain't getting out of this alive. You're not getting out of this scot-free. You're not getting out of it unscathed. So his attorney, Mark Agnafilo, appeared in TMZ Studios documentary The Downfall of Diddy, The Indictment, and revealed that he plans to testify in court. Say, I don't know if I can keep him off the stand. Yes, you can. Just tell his ass don't get up there. What are you doing? Like, y'all really think, with all the tapes from allegedly from the Freak Offs, the thing with Cassie, the fact that she may be one of the witnesses that's going to get up there and testify, among others, and all the evidence that he's kept over the years that is going to put him in a situation, you really think that him getting on the stand is going to help his case in a way? That's just arrogance to me. That's like putting Donald Trump on the stand for his crimes. Like, he gonna incriminate himself. Well, he always does. The man talks so damn much, diarrhea of the mouth, and think people so damn stupid with all the word salad he be saying that we not paying attention. So he said the Bad Boy Records founder, who's 54, is very eager to tell his story, including what happened in the 2016 hotel surveillance video of him physically attacking Cassie Ventura. Well, we already know what happened, and we know over the years that you've been abusing that girl. But he gonna try to make it seem like, oh yeah, well, I was kicking her and dragging her and doing other stuff because she hit me first. But I'm like, well, where's the footage of that? Because for what we saw in that video, she was hatching an escape plan and put it into motion. The foolish part of her was she waited for the damn elevator. If I was her, I'd have took the stairs. I don't care what floor I'm on. My legs is going to have to be buckling and shaking until I get to the bottom of that damn floor. But my ass is running down them steps. The mistake is you wait for the elevator. The elevators take too damn long. They too damn slow. People too slow getting off and on them. But I guess when your mind is where it's at, you're not thinking like all of that. So what happened? She did what she did, and what happened happened. And we've seen the footage. And then you paid money to confiscate the footage so that way you wouldn't be incriminated, that people wouldn't have evidence against you. But then you kept the evidence. Well, you should have destroyed it because you're arrogant. And this is what sociopaths do. Serial killers, abusers, they keep mementos, they keep trophies. And to me, these tapes and everything, this is his trophy. Just like Jeffrey Dahmer like keeping body parts as a trophy, he like keeping tapes because he's a voyeur and narcissistic. So yeah, so basically he wanted to tell his side of the story. And then first of all, they're gonna be like, well, what side of the story? Because you was kicking that girl, you was dragging her, you was doing all this stuff. It didn't look like she was fighting you back. She just put up with it. And that's what abuse is. When something has happened to you enough times, you just sit there and take it. You automatically roll up into a ball, do your whole defensive move, where it's just like you trying to just, block the blows. Because it's something that clearly, based off the body language, it's something she's become used to. So how the hell you gonna defend that? So they said he has his story, and he has a story that I think only he can tell in a way he can tell it in real time. Chill. And said that, and it's a human story. It's a story of love. It's a story of hurt. It's a story of heartbreak. When he describes that relationship with Ventura, the word he uses more than any other word is heartbreak. He was heartbroken. Chill, get off my line with this foolishness. What is this, a goddamn Lifetime movie of the week? He was heartbroken. But how the hell do you think she felt? So yeah, they said the data seven is currently being held without bail at the same Brooklyn detention center that once housed R. Kelly and Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, they put a lot of famous people in that damn place. So they also said, and let's get into the thing about the baby oil. Because that's the cackle for me. Because he goes and said, he answered the question about the baby oil. They was like, why does he need so much baby oil? First of all, when it comes to us black folk, or people of color. For those of us who use, first of all, I don't use baby oil. I use coconut oil, or I use cocoa butter. That's what I use. Anybody got time? I don't want to be all loose and slap. Like I'm not oil wrestling. I'm not putting on one of those latex body suits or whatever the case is. So who the hell need all that baby oil? But then he had the nerve to say that he buys in bulk from wholesale places like Costco. But Costco was like, now why am I in it? That's what they had. So then they had to get on the line. And they went and said, first of all, we don't sell baby oil. Not in our establishment. Wait, hold on, because I need to put I gotta put the baby oil up here. I have to do it for dramatic effect. So yeah, they basically said that they don't sell baby oil in their place. So how you sit up in here lying on us in that situation? And then this story came out. So shout out to the neighborhood talk for this, because I'm gonna just add it in here. They said a male sex worker met with prosecutors this week to turn over some evidence. Now, according to TMZ, an unnamed sex worker signed an agreement to speak to prosecutors, but not be prosecuted himself. See, this is what it is. A lot of people who was involved in stuff, they're like, if I give evidence over, does that mean I won't be prosecuted to the full extent of the law, that I can get away with whatever? This is all this stuff to take him down. So they said that in turn, he gave them footage of an encounter he had with Diddy and an unnamed woman. He also walked them through the whole process of linking up with Diddy. Apparently, the threesome happened in 2023 when the man took a flight from Atlanta to Miami. Oh, and Atlanta is like the epicenter of S trafficking. Diddy allegedly whipped out the camera to record the S worker perform services on the woman. He also shared details about the drugs used with prosecutors. And I said that seems to be his ongoing thing. I always hate this about the neighborhood talk, because I've been wanting to read the comments. But I think overall it's like people getting in their feelings about what is it that people are all caught up in the fact that he has relations with men. And I don't understand why that's the major thing that everybody gets so caught up in, because I don't feel like that what is going on. Because I was trying to open up my Instagram to see if I can go directly to the comments, because I definitely want to bring those up and see what they say. And now we got another damn Diddy. So now they said Diddy sued for drugging an S-ang again. A woman claims he allegedly coerced her into a S relationship and unwillingly got her pregnant. Well, if that happened, did she have a baby? Now hold on. Now we got to add this to the docket. So I'm gonna read it. So it said, shout out to Neighborhood Talk. So it says, neighbors, it seems like the lawsuits won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Diddy's being sued again for SH. Yeah. According to TMZ, a woman has anonymously filed a lawsuit against the defamed mogul, claiming he drugged her and forced her into an S relationship with a 4-year span, even causing her to get pregnant during that time. The woman, who goes by Jane Doe, claims she met the diddler overseas in 2020 and was invited to go on a lavish, all-expense-paid trip with him. From there, they dated on and off again from 2021 to 2022. During that time, she would meet him at his house in LA, Miami, and New York. She claims, though, she felt forced to go because he would use coercive and harassing language to make her agree. His drivers would reportedly show up to her house unannounced, making her feel as though she had to oblige, or she would be abused like the women she had seen over the time of being in his presence. The woman alleges that the diddler would force her to take drugs and spike drinks before their S encounters. One incident she recalled having in April of 2022 at his LA home. Another incident where she was reportedly drugged. She claimed that she woke up with multiple bruises and bite marks that she doesn't remember how she got. One of the most shocking allegations the woman mentions in the lawsuit is a night in July 2022 where she was blacked out from the drugs he allegedly gave her, and she discovered she had gotten pregnant. Then, when she informed the diddler, he reportedly had his staff harass her into getting the A word. Y'all already know what it is. She says, though, she eventually ended up having a miscarriage. The woman claims the harassment didn't stop after that. He continued to mess with her up until July of this year. So about 3 months ago. Oh, wait. We're not in October yet. So July, yeah, about give or take about 2.5, 3 months. I guess we could say that. Then then they said that she says he tracked her location and monitored her conversations during that time. Also, the woman says she suffered trauma, financial injury, and physical injury, and is seeking an unspecified amount in damages. So, of course, a lot of people, here they go, because when they start doing that, y'all automatically want to think, oh yeah, well, if you want money, so I'm like, look. So yeah, I was trying to look for them comments in regards to the whole thing about Diddy and the man or whatever. So somebody said, I'm less concerned with the things he did with consenting parties and more concerned about the people he drugged and forced to do what he wanted sexually. And I feel like that is what people need to be focusing on. Let's stop with all the other stuff. Oh, they want to pay it. Oh, they want this. It's like, but y'all trying to take a black man down. And it's like, why are we not paying attention to the fact that this man was out here drugging people, slipping things in their drink, similar to Bill Cosby? And that was the only way that he could force himself on people. Whatever happened to consensual sex? Like I've said for myself, I'm someone who I've done the sex party thing. I've been to what they want to call freak offs, not the Diddy ones. I don't be doing none of that mess. But I've done like the freak off situation. But it's between people who are consenting adults. I don't force myself on people. There is etiquette when you go to when you're in these type of situations, when you do those type of parties that people should respect. But I've been in those situations where a lot of the men don't. Rubbing up on you, you push their hand away, they try to, it's like, no. And luckily enough, at the parties that I've gone to, I've known the people who run them. So I just be like, this dude got to go because he keep like harassing me. So sometimes you got to do that. But it's like when you're going to these Diddy parties and he feel like he is who he is and he can just do whatever, that's what we should be focusing on. The fact of the matter that he's using his power and influence and that he gets off on having that control over people. And somebody, okay, now your ass is nasty because one girl said, I'm tired of reading stuff. Show me a video. Why do you want to sit up here and watch a video of somebody being assaulted? Like, what is wrong with you? Um, Then also another person said, let's not worry about the consent that adults did and concentrate on what he did to people he drugged, trapped, touched, etc. Another one said, for those who are still having a hard time understanding how this freakiness became illegal, no matter how consenting, prostitution is illegal. Transporting said people across state lines is trafficking. He broke the law. And that was another thing too, because when we just talked about the woman that just filed a lawsuit that came out this morning, literally as I read it, where she's talking about how she was transported from Atlanta to another state. That is transporting and trafficking people across state lines, similar to the other story that we had with the girl that was trafficked on the plane to New York to daddy's house, where she was 17 and said that she was assaulted by Diddy. So that's what they've been getting him on. A lot of the trafficking, bringing people across state lines illegally and then assaulting them. Then another person said, Giovanni V, I think I know him, said that, let me say this from the perspective of once being exactly that. Unless the escort was drugged unwillingly, he went to that hotel room and knows what he signed up for, just like everybody else who consented. This is not the time to say me too when there are actual people that have been hurt literally, not someone who has consented and took the payment and then screenshotted the messages to send their girlfriend's group chat when the deed was done. No, there are actual people that have been abused in this situation. And coming from someone who used to be a male escort, let me tell you one thing, the protection that we carry ourselves is a lot deeper than trying to play a damsel in distress. Focus on the people that were his actual victims, Cassie, Kim, Aubrey, Dawn, etc. And that was another thing I was thinking too. So can we differentiate that situation? Because it's like, yeah, there were people who it was against their will, But also, how do I word this? Because I'm thinking like if you're an escort or somebody that works in the sex industry and that is something you do and you're going in with the intent of like, yeah, I'm hooking up with this celebrity and a lot of them do it. Like I know people that work in the adult industry that have hooked up with big celebrities or celebrities in general. And it's like, if you know, I think you go in thinking that there's what this is and you going in and it's an exchange, it's a client type of situation. Client John situation. But when you go in there, I don't think you know or are aware, okay, the extent of what's going to happen. Or some people probably think, well, you know, what they do to them people over there, they're not going to do that to me. Some people in their mindset think like, oh, they're not going to do to me what they do to them other people. I'm different. It's the same thing like when you get in relationships, how some of these women and some of these men get with dudes and they think, oh, he's not going to beat me. Oh, he's not going to, cheat on me the way he cheated on the other person. I said, what makes you think you got the magic pussy and bussy that's going to prevent that person from doing to you? I mean, not do to you what they've been doing to them other people. A leopard don't change the spots. So, or is it stripes? So, I feel like when it comes to escorting or whatever, everybody's experience is different. So, this guy, I don't think you could put your experience on other people and say that you're going in with an intent of trying to trap somebody. Because, like I said before, that's similar to the situation about we could bring Diddy, aka Shangela LaQuifa Wilding, in the conversation, where it's like, oh, you going around drugging and assaulting someone who works in the adult entertainment industry, and people take that automatic thing of, oh, you're a sex worker, so nobody's going to believe you. That's what you do for a living. What did you expect? Somebody's going to touch like the lack of respect for people that actually work in the sex industry, especially when it comes to how a lot of people look at sex work and sex workers and how y'all love beating y'all meats and getting off on porn stars, but you don't respect them as people. But we see it all the time, especially when it comes to people who go, you know, they thumb their nose up and try to throw shade at somebody's profession. But it's like, but you be up in here getting off on my on what I do. So what are you talking about? So I know this was a long one because it was like I was finding out things in real time, and I wanted to add it to the situation. So shout out to the neighborhood tour. Y'all stay keeping me on my toes with this Diddy stuff, and I'm sure there will be more coming out as the time flies. So I still to say, what do y'all think of this story and all this stuff with Diddy? We do have about 3 more Diddy topics to get to, so bear with me. But whatever your thoughts on this, let me know in the comments down below. You said I saw Gaga is covering 3 Judy Garland songs on her. I like Judy Garland, but yeah, the album is full of covers. Darren Wright says, "Free Diddy." I would, yeah, okay, he ain't getting out of jail. And he said, "But I do love me some Biggie though." I think Diddy and Suge Knight were involved in both. Too. Well, you know what? There's a lot of people that believe that both of them kind of had something to do with it. So Diddy just snitched. The industry not in his corner. Well, look, if he snitches, he gonna end up like what's his name, Jeffrey Epstein. So he better tread lightly. And then Suge Knight basically is talking about he worried about Diddy well being because somebody probably gonna try to stab him up in jail to make a name for themselves or for clout. I'm sure it's bound to happen. But you know what? You don't get that well, unless he got a way to roll up some money and have people protect him behind bars and set up a whole situation with his people on the outside to help that person that protected him in jail and throwing some money towards his family or whoever or his commissary, whatever the case is. Because I can't see Diddy trying to be up in there trying to protect himself. Like he's used to having people protecting him. Well, I already heard the interview. I was trying to play the clip earlier, but for some reason I didn't. The thing they want to open on my page, I was not feeling like going through all of the shade room stuff just to pull up that clip. I should have had it open earlier, but it is what it is. So I just read it. It said Diddy is such a narcissist. He thinks Testify is gonna. It's not. And it's gonna mess him up. I feel like it's gonna be the same thing like the Menendez brothers. He done messed up his thing. Speaking of which, I'm like, damn. You know what? I'm gonna say that other story with the Menendez brothers tomorrow because I don't think I have that in here with Ryan Murphy. Arrogant. Speaking of arrogance, tomorrow, why should he go and speak to the Menendez brothers? What are they gonna tell him? Um, if you're gonna do a whole 9-episode series on me, wouldn't you want to go and find out what the tea is? Like, or is that just me, or am I crazy? So I think I'm gonna save that story for the weekend when it's like the news is a bit slower. Oh yeah, I did see that too. Yeah, I said, child, now R. Kelly, you need to mind your damn business. Like it's always the worst people that want to come out of the woodwork and defend him. It's him, bussy mad ass. Like y'all all just want to come out and start saying stupidness. It's like mind your business, please. Stay out of it. Because if somebody drag you in the thing, you ain't gonna like it. Now, speaking of docuseries and things, let's get into this story. So 50 Cent, we have an update on his docuseries that he's supposed to be doing on the Diddler. We've been hearing for the past couple of months, even before all this extra stuff started coming out and the indictment and him getting locked up and all this stuff, that 50 said he was coming out with a docuseries. So we have that. And I told you, as I said prior to this story, there's, everybody's trying to jump on this Diddy bandwagon. And I'm not going to sit up here and watch all of them because TMZ has one on Tubi. They have one that's, I think, a Nightline episode that's on Hulu. If you have that, you can watch it there. And everybody's coming out of the woodwork trying to just throw together a little videos or whatever. But the ones I'm looking forward to, there's two I'm looking forward to. I'm definitely looking forward to this 50 Cent one because I want to see what he's going to give with this. And there's one that's coming out from the people that produced the Nickelodeon docuseries that was on the ID channel and HBO Max. So I'm looking forward to the both of those because I feel like after I saw the one with the Nickelodeon one, they really did a good job putting that one together. So I want to see exactly what it is that they're going to bring with that one. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what 50 Cent is going to bring with his. So 50 is giving us an insight into what we can expect from his docuseries. So he said, this is a story because it's currently in production, I should say. So they said it's being directed by Alexandria Stapleton. I'm not familiar with that name, but I'm just letting you know who directed it. So they basically said, this is a story with significant human impact. It's a complex narrative spanning decades, not just the headlines or clips seen so far. This is what 50 and Stapleton said in an exclusive statement to Variety, saying we remain steadfast in our commitments to give a voice to the voiceless and to present authentic and nuanced perspectives. While the allegations are disturbing, we urge all to remember that Sean Combs' story is not the full story of hip-hop and its culture. We aim to ensure the individual actions do not overshadow the culture's broader contributions. And I absolutely agree with that because we talked about it the other day, how not 50 Cent, Method Man jumped in and said, don't try to lump all of hip hop into this situation. And I agree with that because I'm like, we're not going to lump everybody in the hip hop industry. So when you got dummies like Boosie coming out saying, the foolishness that he said, oh, well, he doing nothing no different than what everybody else be doing and just being a freak. So y'all all be up in here drugging and raping women? That's what y'all all be doing? Or we just talking about you? Or the fact that you like having grown women hunt your son and your nephew underage because you don't want them to be homosexuals. So is that what we talking about? And this is why I said the ignorant people just need to just stay in their own corner and mind the business that pays them. Now I am curious like where it went wrong between Diddy and 50. Because at one point they was cool, right? They would see each other, they would hang out, and all this, then all of a sudden 50 had this animosity towards him or just didn't like him. So I'm curious of what caused Diddy and 50's falling out. If anybody knows, throw it down in the chat. Because I can't keep up with everything. So it is being produced through his G Unit Film Intelligent banner, while Stapleton EPs for House of Nonfiction with Texas Crew Productions also producing. So look, I'm excited to see this. I'm curious as to who he is going to be, bringing into this conversation or who he's going to be interviewing. And when it comes out, it comes out. But you know what? Netflix, y'all be getting my damn nerves in regards to the content because I be feeling like sometimes when I be, well, I'm glad in a way that it is a documentary or docuseries versus a scripted series because we see what y'all get with the scripted series. Ryan Murphy out here creating trash with the Menendez brothers, but I'm hoping that the documentary that they have coming out on the Menendez brothers is going to be way better. That's supposed to be coming out next month. So I'm going to check that out. But in regards to the 50 Cent thing, I'm definitely hoping like he dots all his I's, he crosses all his T's, and he gives us some quality in regards of like real information, stuff that we ain't heard nowhere else. Because I trust him before I trust TMZ. TMZ, I feel like y'all just be trying to use black people to push y'all little narrative. But if we got somebody that really gives a damn, then I'll check it out. But I'm just hoping that it is nuanced and not biased, where it's like, oh yeah, we just gonna go hard on it because you know how petty 50 could be. So I'm just really hoping that he could put all that aside and give us, you know, the real deal, Holyfield. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever are y'all excited to see this Diddy docuseries that's being produced by 50 Cent on Netflix? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so I have to say I got this I got my screen. I don't know y'all, I don't think y'all can see it on my side, on your side. But on my side, I put this in they came out with a dark mode feature. Can I tell you this shit looks fabulous? Because the brightness, I don't like it's funny how I put everything in dark mode right now. I have my phone in dark mode, and now I got my, you know, my whole setting in dark mode. It makes everything pop, and it's better. It's easy for me to like look at what you guys are writing and all this other stuff, and it makes it easier on the eyes because sometimes with these backgrounds, like, no ma'am. When it said the 50% one is probably just gonna say, okay. Seems like that's all he claims. Besides saying, did he offer to take him shopping and buy him things? He wanted to take him to the candy shop. And they want to get his mouth on that lollipop. But look, with this whole thing, I'm just gonna wait until the docuseries comes out. I'm gonna watch it, and we're gonna dissect it as a class and see if we learn anything, and if there was some biases, or if it was like, you know, a well-rounded, nuanced docuseries. So, hey, girl. And he said there's a new documentary on Max about the new generation looking at the evidence. Well, you know what? I'm glad that there's a new generation looking. You know what? It's funny how. Well, I'll bring that up the next time on the next show with the whole thing with the Menendez brothers. So it's like, yeah, I'm hoping that even though that show was trash, what I'm hoping is that after everything with these series, and this is what I love about this generation, especially with social media and everything. This is why I give the credit to the new generation. The fact of the matter is, when y'all look at things and it's like, you know what, that don't sound right. The times have changed, especially the way they treated the Menendez brothers. Because the one thing that pissed me off was that second trial and how the judge was being biased towards the lawyer who was defending the Menendez brothers. Anytime she objected, overruled. Every time she was trying to, you know, say something about it, and then this bitch on the end telling, can you tell her to stop playing the hangman? I said, well, bitch, I should have hung your ass. How about that? She was getting my damn nerves too. And how they were trying to paint it like, oh, the poor parents. Oh, the kids were lying. Oh, I don't think they were abused. And it was like they were playing that whole thing up, and they played into the heartstrings of that damn jury, and the jury convicted them. 2 life sentences. So I don't think that's right. So I love the idea that, you know what, in this time now, it's like, you know what, the 90s was different than the way it is. That's why I was laughing when I'm watching that series, and he's up in there talking about, you know, the scene with Eric Menendez and the black dude in prison who they was hunching. Oh, it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to be gay on what planet? Because in the 90s, you could not be out and proud. I don't know what alternate universe Ryan Murphy behind was living in, but this ain't accurate. And as a kid growing up in New York City in the 90s, I don't know where on God's green earth, it's like, oh yeah, it's okay to be gay. I'm going this way. Like, now we're at a place where you can be yourself. Yeah, we still have our issues, but you can be out loud and proud way more so than you could in the 90s, in the 80s. Well, I don't know about the 80s, but in the 90s and even somewhat in the 2000s. So I don't believe, so I'm sitting there like, okay, now you need to stop with this foolishness. That's why I was like, this is a bunch of BS. And I don't trust nobody that's going to sit up here and make a story about my life, but don't even want to take the time to actually interview me. especially when I'm still alive. So you can't interview Jeffrey Dahmer. He dead. You can't interview Ed Gein. He's dead. But you can interview the Menendez brothers, but you ain't want to do that. You just want to keep giving us trash like American Horror Story. That's another damn show that need to be burned at the stake. I still haven't even watched Grotesquerie yet. That just came out this week. I do want to check that out. And now Travis Kelce to my, I want to be an actor. That's probably why he messing up in a damn, playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. Because they dragging him over the fact that he's been playing kind of poorly this season. I said, yeah, because you want to be a celebrity so damn bad. You want to run around here, you want to be an actor. You want to do a podcast. You want to be Taylor Swift gopher. You want to do everything but play football. I really like that. Oh, you talking about the background? I said, wait, you can see my background, but you talking about, this background. Well, yeah. I will manifest it together. And you said, do you think Scooter did some horrible stuff to Bieber allegedly because that? Well, you want to know something? I wouldn't be surprised if he did. A lot of people don't be realizing it's a lot of predators that run around this industry, and a lot of them hide in plain sight. So I would not be surprised. I mean, we haven't heard any evidence of the sort, but I would be surprised unless somebody willing to come out and expose him. Child, let's get into this mess. Let's talk about Carl Winslow allegedly being at Diddy freak-offs. Because remember, there was a story that came out months ago that there was some guy on a podcast, Luke, I think his name is Luke or Luce. I don't even know what his name is. Luce Cannon, that's what his name is, Luce. He claimed that he saw VelJohnson and Diddy being intimate. He saw him getting swallowed. Well, I actually think you ain't seen no damn Reginald VelJohnson. You probably saw TD Jakes. Allegedly, because that's the rumor. But, sometimes y'all be thinking a lot of these big back black men are all one and the same. But, yeah, we heard the tea about allegedly Reginald VelJohnson's a homosexual. But let's entertain the foolishness. So he said it's all. So now Reginald has answered because TMZ shady behinds asked him when I guess he was in between rehearsals or whatever because he's on Dance with the Stars. He said it's all BS. I don't know that man. I never met that man before. I wish him well, though. Now, after Diddy's arrest earlier this month, a clip resurfaced online of comedian Luce Cannon claiming he saw VelJohnson and Diddy punching. The rumor gained traction after Charlamagne the God discussed the allegation in a May episode of Andrew Schultz's Flagrant with Akash Singh podcast. VelJohnson was currently competing on Dancing with the Stars, denied the allegations of him and Diddy, and urged people spreading the rumors to get a life. Now, look, as far as Diddy out here hunching, whoever he hunching, it seemed like he just stuck his peen in anything with a pulse. But for the most part, do I believe that Diddy would have been hunching Carl Winslow of all people? Hey, look, you never know who be popping up in these situations. But as far as like Reginald VelJohnson, sometimes I feel like when it comes to people, we tend to get certain actors confused or certain people confused. And just because him and TD Jakes is both big, boned, black, and old, maybe it wasn't Reginald VelJohnson you saw. Maybe it was you saw TD Jakes getting swallowed. He was up there getting swallowed. So that's what I'm thinking you probably saw. And we already know TD Jakes is real close with the diddler. So that's probably the one you saw up in there, but you just getting you big bag men confused. So yeah, so that's pretty much it with that story. There was really nothing else to add to it. So I asked, So I say, well, listen, Sam, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all think that Lauren Eddie Daddy Winslow, Harriet husband, was up in there getting hunched by the diddler? We can't forget about Judy, because remember, she went upstairs and never came back down. Except the next time we saw her, she was laying low and spreading it wide for some money. Doing the rhymes with corn. So y'all thinking Carl Winslow or the cop from, what was that movie? Die Hard and Die Hard 2, Die Harder? was out here getting his best broke by the diddler, among other people in the industry. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Now, speaking of getting their back broke, let's talk about Lance Bass. You know, you had to go from one alleged homosexual to an actual homosexual. So now, don't expect to see Lance Bass's name on the list of celebrities who attended one of P. Diddy's freak-offs, because Lance recently appeared on an episode of Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. I ain't gonna play you the clip because, you know, NBC Universal gives my root canal nerve when it comes to showing their clips. They be ready to demonetize or pounce down on people's stuff. So I don't even do it. I'll just talk about it. And plus, the way that Andy Cohen's response, I was just like, it was lame anyway. So I could just tell y'all what he said, make it more entertaining. So he basically said that he had completely forgot that the rapper spent time opening up for NSYNC during their final tour in 2002. He then revealed that putting Combs out of mind might have something to do with the advice the rapper once gave to his former bandmate, Justin Timberlake. He said, I never liked him because the very last show in Orlando, I overheard him talking to Justin being like, you need to drop those effers. You need to go solo. And I was like, I don't like you anymore, Diddy. Now, when host Andy Cohen and the studio audience gagged, Bass laughed, I know, at my own show. What the hell? Cohen then joked, you will not be hearing from Diddy about that. He got bigger problems than Lance Bass slagging him off on Watch What Happens Live. But child, quiet as his kid, Andy, you got a lot to worry about over there, too, with your lawsuits. So, tread lightly, sir. And then he goes and says, I know, I will not be his phone call. No, he probably calling that dumbass attorney that's pretty much going to throw him under the jail because he talked too freaking much to the press because he liked the fame. He likes all the attention. Now, we don't need to go through the whole thing in regards of what I hate when every time you read an article, they need to remind you why Diddy in jail. We already know. Every day we've been reporting on it. So we don't need to go through the racketeering and all that mess. Now they also went on to say, while Timberlake has never cited Combs as a reason for his decision, the singer did eventually split from NSYNC to pursue a solo career, making the 2002 tour their last. The band, which also includes Joey Fatone, JC Chasez, and Chris Kirkpatrick, announced their hiatus the same year before officially splitting up. Now, they reunited last year, as y'all remember, for the first song together in 2 decades for Timberlake's animated feature film Trolls Band Together, and also during this horrible rollout of his latest album, he kept trotting out, NSYNC as like they were props. Whenever he wanted to promote the new album, he would bring them out on stage every now and again. He also has a song with them on his new album that nobody cared to listen to, but is there. And there have been rumors going on that NSYNC is going to reunite for a tour, which I think would be the smart thing to do, especially if Justin wants to rehabilitate his career at this point. Look, the people's already mad at Janet over the foolishness she had just said about Kamala Harris and how she won't and she doubling down on it. So Justin, you might have a way to kind of rehabilitate your career at this point. I still don't like you, but this might be a situation where you could, but Lance did address the rumors that there are literally, he said they are in talks to reunite and possibly do a tour, because after Bye 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 was a huge hit for them, even though it was back in the day when I was a kid growing up, Deadpool and Wolverine basically brought this whole resurgence of NSYNC. The people was living for it. The song blew up the charts again after it was on the Deadpool and Wolverine, in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. And a lot of times movies do that, where it's like well, for me, it would be a sense of nostalgia. The new kids are like, oh, this is a fun little pop song. Let me go and listen to it and add it to my, my list of songs I got to listen to. Yeah, that's a timeless track. I'm like, who produced that? Was that Max Martin? But anyway, yeah, so he said they're in talks, but here's the thing. Do I actually think that Diddy may have been the straw that broke the camel's back that made Justin Timberlake want to leave the group? I think it was always in the back of Justin's mind. Like, I remember I would see like videos and stuff online where they were like, well, no, Justin always had plans to kind of go solo. I just think that he needed to find that courage to go there. He was, as much as I'll say this, now, to me, in my opinion, JC Chasez was the better singer. And it's funny how now I'm noticing his blowing me up with her love song. I'm noticing that's been circulating a lot lately. It's been a resurgence, and I'm because it came on my damn when I was listening to my on my phone, I was listening to music, and it actually came up on the playlist. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot how good this damn song was, and then I was somewhere else, and that song popped up again. So I feel like JC Chasez is starting to get his just due because y'all pretty much is page schizophrenic does. Justice for JC. I will always say that. I do love that album. Blow Me Up With Her Love, All Day Long I Dream About Sex. There was a lot of great songs on that damn album. And Jay-Z is that dude. But I just feel like Justin was the star. He had the look. He had the passable, voice. So you can mold Justin easier. I feel like he was just easy on the eyes. He had the charm. There was just something about him that you can, he checked all the boxes for what it means to be a pop star. So that worked in his favor. JC, I don't feel like he was ready for it. Or he was just, unfortunately, damn, what's the word? Like, when Justin started messing up in the situation, especially with the Janet Jackson thing, the Nipplegate, because remember, he was supposed to perform his new music at some Super Bowl thing. I can't remember what the name of it is. It was like some type of bowl or whatever. He became guilty by association because he was attached to NSYNC. So he suffered at the hands of Justin's screw up. And I'm like, we ain't the same person. We was in the same group. But I got my own thing. He got his own. Why am I suffering? We're not even doing NSYNC anymore. So back in the day, I felt like the way the industry was just real dumb and closed-minded in a lot of decisions. Oh, so we was going to hurt you and mess your situation up because Justin messed up over here. What the hell that got to do with me? So now me doing my own thing over here, my money got to be affected because of this dude and what he did with Janet. You need to chastise him. What the hell I got to do? I didn't rip her thing off and showed her breast with the whatever that mess was on her nipple. That wasn't me. That was Justin that did it. So why am I in it? In the words of Nene Leakes. So yeah. So I don't think that Diddy was the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't think it was the one that played into his final decision, but I do feel like he was somebody that was okay chirping in his ear. And I wouldn't be surprised because Diddy's a mogul. Justin's going to listen to him because he's young and impressionable. And if some major person that thinks they know everything, or you would believe that because of the position they're in, that they would know best what's for you, that is going to plant a seed. It was one of the many seeds he had planted in his head. But I do feel like at some points, Justin always had a goal of wanting to go solo. Unfortunately, all the other ones in the group, y'all better as an ensemble. Not everybody has that breakout Beyonce, Michael Jackson situation where y'all can go solo and leave y'all groups behind and go on to bigger and better success. So I feel you, Lambs, but I don't think that Diddy was the only one. I do believe he was one of the seeds, but that was planted, but I don't think he was the one that really got the ball rolling for Justin to go for his solo status. So I'm saying, let's say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all agree with Lance on what he's saying, or do you think there were other factors that played into the fact of Justin wanting to go solo? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Yes, she did. Probably not, because I don't even think they started filming it. We've been hearing for years that they've been talking about Sister Act 3. I don't know what's going on with it. Whoopi keeps going back and forth, saying they're working on the script. That's the same ones that's working on that damn Scream 7 script, because every time I turn around, they're working on this, so they're still working on it, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, whatever. So I don't think she'll be in it. Sidebar, do we really need a Sister Act 3? Like, I feel like I love the original Sister Act. That's like one of my all-time favorite movies. I do love Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. I want to be in that choir so bad. Joyful, joyful, Lord, we adore thee. I would like be up in there doing my little, I wish that was like one of the movies I definitely wish I was in. I would love to have been in Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. Standing alongside Jennifer Love Hewitt and Lauryn Hill. Except, but then Justin did just that 6 months later, his first so yeah, based off of rejected Michael Jackson songs. And that's exactly what it was. I'm not making that up. And they said Kamala effed up saying they're okay with banning Ivy. Well, she a dummy if she said that. Trump said he's going to make sure it becomes legal for Supreme Court making it. That's a lie. He's lying. And for her to say that that they're okay with being an IVF, I was like, sis, are you slow? Are you really trying to sabotage your career? If this is something that she said, I need to look into that, because I'm like, you already know there's women out here who are struggling to have children, and for her to say something like they're okay with banning IVF, especially when you out here going hard for women who have been abused, and then the whole abortion ban and all this other stuff. Like, this is not the time and the place to be talking about you okay with being an IVF. Because I'm like, sis, if you want to lose, you trying to lose that very woman vote that you gaining traction in, don't be dumb and say that. But I heard well, here's the thing. Look, haven't we all said that the overall consensus with Kamala is that a lot of people feel like she's disingenuous when it comes to how she speaks? Unless she comes across a bit robotic, she just needs to relax a little bit. Somebody give her some weed. Don't do a little toke on the smoke before she go live, or she do her interviews. Now, speaking of politicians that get on my damn nerves, I don't, not to say that's Kamala, Mama Love. My name is Kamala, but let's talk about this idiot. I am so glad that this stuff is coming down on him, because as y'all know, and I've said it many a times, I do not like Eric Adams. Never liked him. I've always felt that he was an opportunist. I've always felt that he gave me coon vibes. And I've always felt that, okay, so the worst thing you do is you elect a damn cop to be the mayor of New York City. He was not my choice. My choice is Maya Wiley. But for some reason, he got up in it. And I feel like maybe it was because not a lot of people came out and voted. But now, look, we stuck in this little situation. We got a damn criminal running New York City. He basically, as I like to say, Donald Trump with a natural tan. So now, U.S. prosecutors on Thursday charged the New York City Mayor Eric Adams with accepting illegal campaign contributions and luxury travel from Turkish nationals seeking to influence him, capping an investigation that has sent the largest U.S. city's government, into turmoil. Yeah, so that's why this thing is big news, because everybody knows there's a lot of things that come in and out of, like, we are the financial district, especially when it comes to New York. Well, New York is the financial district. A lot of money comes in and out of here. A lot of decisions is made in New York. They ain't just Washington. So these Turkish nationals, yeah, they were giving him all kinds of things. And then there was some building they were trying to get open in New York that was not up to code. He was strong arming the fire department. Finally, it opened, and there was a lot of violations. And of course, this is what caused them to start looking into him and his people. They all started dropping like flies, but he the only heifer that's running around talking about, oh, I'm not stepping. Oh, yes, the hell you are, and you need to. So I'm wondering, is he going to end up, roommates or cellmates with the diddler? Now, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, has been charged with 5 counts of an alleged long-standing conspiracy connected to improper benefits, illegal campaign contributions, and an attempted cover-up, according to a sweeping indictment unsealed on Thursday morning. And it's funny how they were somebody sealed, which it didn't take him long enough to unseal it. Excuse me. So shout out to ABC News for this story. So Adams, who's 64, faces 1 count of wire fraud, 1 count of conspiracy, 2 counts of solicitation, and a contribution from a foreign national, and 1 count of bribery, according to the indictment. And there's evidence of all this too. Like, they have stuff written in writing from him. And it said that exposes the mayor to significant prison time if convicted. Now, I'm hearing people talking about it's going to be overturned. By who? Because what power does he have? He don't have power over the judicial system. He may have power over the police force, because he once was a part of it, and he gives them a lot of leeway, especially when it comes to stop and frisk. Now, I could have sworn that stop and frisk was stopped in New York, but apparently it's still happening. And this fool is looking the other way, and they're not even chastising the police who are doing the stop and frisking. And y'all already know who's being affected by this. It damn sure ain't white people. So y'all want to say into about crime is down and the police are, tell 9 times out of 10. And I love I like members of the NYPD. I have family members who are cops, but they don't be doing shit. Now it says that Adams, who was elected, I don't know by who because it wasn't me, in 2021, is the first sitting New York City mayor to ever face charges. I mean, we've had criminals before. I heard somebody say Jimmy Walker. Did Jimmy Walker ever run for mayor and was actually the mayor here? And maybe that was before my time. And then, of course, we had Giuliani, who has been disgraced. So many of the accusations relate to Adams's relationship with wealthy foreign business people and Turkish officials. Prosecutors say Adams accepted more than $100,000 in improper benefits, many of which came in the form of flight upgrades and stays in luxury hotels, none of which were publicly divulged as required. And they also were saying something or another that, oh, his name wasn't going to be on the stuff, so he ain't had nothing to worry about. And in exchange for all of that, they, oh, we're putting you up in luxury hotels. We're flying you out free of charge. You don't have to worry about the payments. We got you. But when we need something in New York done, if we need a building, if we need this, or we need that, or we need you to not speak on certain genocides and things of that, the Armenian genocide, to be exact, then we want you to keep quiet on that. So then it kind of makes me wonder, if you're doing that with them, are you doing, how many other payouts and kickbacks and things were you taking from other groups? And I don't want to start trying to assert things in here without evidence, but it kind of makes me wonder, are the Turkish people the only people that he was taking bribes from? Because if one group of people can buy you, then he can be bought at any time. So it says Eric Adams, the defendant, sought and accepted illegal campaign contributions in the form of nominee or straw contributions, meaning that the true contributors conveyed their money through nominal donors who falsely certified they were contributing their own money. As a result of those false certifications, Adams' 2021 mayoral campaign received more than $10 million in public funds. Adams addressed the press shortly, which means, did he buy his way into the not into the White House, into Gracie Mansion? So Adams addressed the press shortly after the indictment was unsealed alongside a group of supporters. Were they all black? Because we know how all of a sudden, when black people, political figures, they remember they black when they about to be thrown under the jail. Any other time, you turn your back on your own damn people. But then when it's time to be black, all of a sudden, they're going to put all them hoteps around them for the protection or to make them look a certain way. We see through the BS. I know how PR works. So he says, I asked New Yorkers to hear our defense before making any judgments. No, because you a POS. So I don't want to hear your defense because we know you a damn criminal. You always gave me crook tease. I've always kind of got that energy from him. There was always something sinister about that man. There was always something that just reeked of crookedness. And I'm glad my instincts have never steered me wrong. Because the people was heckling his behind when he was there. They said ain't nothing worse than a black man that gets a bullhorn and starts throwing the shade, because that's what was going on up in there. He said his day-to-day would not change. What you mean, stealing people money? Now, everyone who knows me knows I follow campaign rules and I follow the law. Well, that's a damn lie. Look at me giving commentary as I read. Now, Damian Williams, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, however, alleged that Adams knowingly violated these laws for years. Williams outlined allegations in the indictment in a news conference Thursday and alleged Adams provided special favors for Turkish business leaders and government officials in exchange for campaign funds and lavish gifts, including upgraded airline tickets and trips to lavish hotel rooms. Adams started accepting undisclosed luxury travel benefits at least as early as 2016. He took these benefits nearly every year through 2021. The gifts were worth over $100,000 and none of it was disclosed, according to Williams. In fact, in some cases, he told staffers that he paid for the trips when that was a lie. The U.S. Attorney alleged Adams, when he was the Brooklyn Borough president, allegedly solicited foreign campaign contributions while traveling to Turkey in January of 2019, saying, I want to be clear, these upgrades and freebies were not part of some frequent flyer or loyalty program available to the general public. As we alleged, this was a multi-year scheme to buy favor with a single New York City politician on the rise. Now, the indictment alleges Adams used straw donations to apply for the city's matching funds program, which gives candidates public funds to match small donations only from New York City residents for any political campaign. As early as 2018, Adams and an unidentified staff member were in communication with a Turkish business person who funneled tens of thousands of dollars to straw donors for Adams' 2021 mayoral campaign, according to the indictment. As told, the 2021 campaign reaped over $10 million in matching funds based on the false certifications that the campaign complied with the law. when in fact, Eric Adams, the defendant, knowingly and repeatedly relied on illegal contributions. Now, in addition, Williams alleged that the Turkish government tried to open a new high-rise building in 2021 in Manhattan that would house Turkey's consulate and push Adams to speed up the construction permits. Despite warnings from New York City fire safety professionals, Adams pressured the fire department to open the building. Now, if something would have happened to these Turkish officials and people would have died up in there, what do you think would have happened? You don't think they would have spilled tea on Eric Adams? Because you're trying to push open a building that has not been up to code. The FDNY professionals were convinced that they would lose their jobs if they didn't back down, and so they did. They got out of the way and let the building open. And that's what I hate about people like this man. You strong-arming these people to do something that is dangerous, and out of fear of losing their job, oh, we're just going to look the other way and do it. Because if we go and defy the mayor, you know the mayor's going to call the fire commissioner or whatever the case is, and then the heads are going to roll. So I'm fired for doing my job, for putting people's concerns, safety concerns, ahead of whatever political crap you got going on behind the scenes. So I got to worry about my job being on the line. So I guess, to save my job, unfortunately, I got to look the other way. And it's crazy that this is where we are in life with these damn crooks running around acting like they for us and they for the people. Eric Adams ain't never been for us. We, people like me, we've been watching your behind for the 3 years you've been in office. I need him to step down. He should not be, leading New York City, let alone a Westminster Abbey show or whatever. So Adams lawyer Alex Spiro said, or Spiro, tomato, he said, "We have known for some time that they would try to find a way to bring a case against Mayor Adams. Yesterday, more improper leaks. Today, they emailed us a summons and created the spectacle of a bogus raid. And very soon, they will no doubt hold an hour-long dog and pony show presser rather than the appeal in open court. Federal judges call them out all the time for spitting in front of the cameras and tainting jurors, but they keep doing it because they can't help themselves. The spotlight is just too exciting. We will see them in court." Okay, well, you act like that Eric Adams ain't all about being in the spotlight and the center of attention. Because remember, let's also not forget, we had that big old flooding in New York where all the subways and stuff was messed up. He was more or less interested in attending a fundraiser instead of dealing with what was happening in New York City. So this man ain't never cared about what goes on with the American, well, not even American, we got to focus on New York because we're the ones that's being affected by a lot of the stuff. So whenever things was going on with him, he was more or less interested in hobnobbing with celebrities, giving the diddler keys to the city, which took him months to all of a sudden want to take back until the crap hit the fan. And then he decided, oh yeah, now I got to get the key back. Because how was that going to make him look? So I feel like you want to talk about people that love the fame? Eric Adams wants to be a celebrity. Eric Adams wants to hobnob with celebrities and go to the Met Gala and hang out with Anna Wintour and do all this other stuff instead of actually doing his damn job as a politician. So y'all can get on my line with this mess. So I say, what do y'all think of this story? I'm hoping that he goes to jail. And if he does and has forced to resign, which he should be forced to resign, there's got to be people that are over his head that can have him step down, because he should not be governing New York. He should not be the mayor of New York. He should not be running this thing if all these charges is coming against him and if they have all this evidence. And I already told y'all, New York City, we don't play when it comes to this legal system, especially when it comes to federal charges. So if he stepped down, then who's stepping in? Kathy Holster and the big old teeth of hers? Like, who's going to be, who's running New York City? Like, I don't know maybe I need to start paying attention to that. So like, whenever, like if the president did something, he got to step down, of course, or something happened to him, the vice president steps up. And then if something happens to the vice president, then it's the secretary of state, and then so on and so on. So on and so forth. But who is the one that steps in when it's the mayor? Do we have to elect somebody to come in and take over? Because yeah, if you're doing any type of criminal activity, you shouldn't be running no New York. So whatever your thoughts are on all of this, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so now let's talk one hot mess to another. Speaking of stealing people money and taking kickbacks and things of that nature, let's get into Naomi Campbell walk, Naomi Campbell walk across the room like Naomi Campbell. Give me body beard. So, child, Naomi Campbell's been tooted and booted as a trustee for the fashion organization as she is accused of financial misconduct. So, British supermodel, who, she is a supermodel, and I live for Naomi Campbell, but girl, you are tarnishing your legacy. Bad enough you like throwing phones at people and being disrespectful, but this is another strike against your legacy. And I do agree, because I remember I was having a conversation. I do feel like at this point, because of Naomi Campbell, yes, she's an icon, and yes, she's contributed a lot, and yes, she's broken a lot of barriers, but I feel like at this point, Naomi, you literally are just somebody they tolerate in the fashion world because you've been in it so damn long that they got to give you your flowers. But you be doing too many messy things that is starting to overshadow the legacy that you've built. So it said that she's been barred from being a charity trustee in England and Wales for 5 years after the poverty charity she founded nearly 20 years ago was found to have been poorly governed with inadequate financial management. Now, following a 3-year investigation into the financial activities of Fashion for Relief, well, damn, they was investigating her for that long? The Charity Commission said Thursday that it had found multiple incidences of misconduct and or mismanagement, and that only 8.5% of the charity's overall expenditure went on charitable grants in a 6-year period from 2016. It found, for example, the thousands of pounds worth of charity funds were used to pay for a luxury hotel stay in Cannes, France, for Campbell, as well as spa treatments, room service, and even cigarettes. Well, all the damn models smoke. I'm like, girl, you're doing the same thing like Eric Adams. Y'all need to get together. I don't even think he got a girlfriend, and I don't think she got a man. So y'all be perfect. Y'all both out here taking kickbacks and things for, digging into charities and political funds and all this other stuff and traveling on them expenses. So they also said that it found, for example, that thousands of pounds worth of charity funds were used to pay for a luxury hotel stay in Cannes, France. The regulator said that trustees explained the hotel costs were typically covered by a donor to the charity, therefore not costing the charity, but failed to provide any evidence to support this. It also found that the fellow trustee Bianca Helmick received around £290,000, which would equal up to $385,000 in American dollars, of unauthorized funds for consultancy services, which was in breach of the charity's constitution. She's been disqualified as a trustee for 9 years. The other trustee, Veronica Chow, was barred for 4 years. Now, trustees are legally required to make decisions that are in the charity's best interest and to comply with the legal duties and responsibilities. And this is what Tim Hopkins said, Deputy Director of Specialist Investigations and Standards. Our inquiry has found that the trustees of this charity failed to do so, which has resulted in our action to disqualify them. And so the charity was founded in 2005 in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans and was dissolved and removed from the register of charities earlier this year. Now, on the website, which is still active, the charity said that it presented fashion initiatives and products in New York, London, Cannes, Moscow, Mumbai, and Dar es Salaam, raising more than $15 million for good causes around the world. Now, I should also point out that Ms. Naomi Campbell took her behind over, to social media, and let's shout out to the Neighborhood Talk, because she said, I'm not going down with this ship. She said, I'm not going down with this ship. I didn't mess it. I didn't do nothing. She saying she innocent. I got the clip. We're going to play it. Please hold.
Extremely concerned, and we are investigating on our side. As I was not in control of my charity, I put the control in the hands of a legal lawyer, and so we are investigating to find out what and how. Everything I do and every penny I ever raise goes towards charities. I've just found out today about the findings, and I'm extremely concerned, and we are investigating on our side. As I was not in control of my charity, I put the control in the hands of a legal lawyer, And so we are investigating to find out what and how. Everything I do and every penny I ever raise goes towards charities. I've just found.
And the people, look, let's go into what the people said. So the people said she lying. It's Naomi, you look like you scared. You look like you lying. One person said, yeah, me telling HR about another trip. That's what they were saying about her in that video. Another person said, you could tell she guilty. Goddamn. And then another person playing a meme from Cat Williams saying, all lies will be exposed. That's all. Another person said, now, Naomi, girl, you don't look believable. Another person said, that's possible. This is why entrepreneurs are exhausted and a lot of them don't have people handling funds. Then people will send you to jail and have your name looking all crazy. So maybe we could play devil's advocate and look at it as, okay, so maybe it's like, yeah, Naomi's name is on the charity, but she has people that she put in place that are handling everything. But me, I'm sorry, if my name is on a lease or my name is on a charity and I'm, my whole career, whatever's on the line, I'm paying attention to what's going on. I need to know, like, I need to, bring in the accountant. We need to see what's going on with the money and all this other stuff. And I need to keep track of that. I'm not just going to give my situation to somebody and be like, okay, handle it. And I'm just not going to know what's going on. And if they've been digging into you for 3 years and you can't provide all the evidence that you up in here saying, and you saying that you just finding out about it, but they've been investigating your charity for 3 years, I don't believe you necessarily, Naomi. But it's cute or whatever. We could sit up in here and play devil's advocate on the other stuff. Where it's like, entrepreneurs got other things going on and they don't have the time to be paying attention to everything. So they put a lot of trustees in place to make sure. But at the end of the day, if I'm writing a check, I need an annual situation of, okay, so what's going on? I need to see the receipts. I need you to tell me what's going on. I need to look at the paperwork, all that other stuff. So I would be paying attention in that way. I'm not just going to give everything over completely to somebody and expect to just turn a blind eye. Like, I'm not buying that. Child, somebody said LMAO. It's okay, Naomi. We know you lying. Another person, I didn't even turn on the sound, and I know she lying. Her mouth is shaking. She probably lying. And they said the cigarettes are taking me out. Yeah, because I'm like, damn, you had to use campaign, or you had to use charity funds to buy cigarettes? I mean, I know cigarettes have gone up, but damn. So, yeah, I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all believe Naomi or y'all think she lying like everybody else in the comments was saying? I don't know. I'll keep my eye on this story as it develops, but I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Like, is times really that hard on the boulevard that you out here taking, you got charities and stuff going on. It's supposed to be helping people, but you using it to fund your lavish lifestyle and your cigarette habit. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so now I want to let everybody know we do have 4 topics left. So before I get to said topics, if you have not already, please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and also smash that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Without further ado, let's get into this Cardi and Offset mess that's going on social media. So I was minding my business, and all of a sudden, I'm hearing stuff about Cardi B all of a sudden fighting on Instagram Live. Spilling all AT. He's out here trying to make her jealous of some girl he been hunching. Then he gets all upset because she was laying low and spreading it wild while she was pregnant. They were going back and forth at one point. Remember, they had broken up, but I told y'all that they were still together because I seen them when they was at, Madison Square Garden together, front row. During during a Knicks game. Trying to remember if it was the playoffs or was just a regular game. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they were in the audience. And I remember seeing them because they was literally right across from me. Offset out here looking a mess with his fashion, dressed like Lil Edie, and you had, Cardi bringing the fashion. So they was out here airing their dirty laundry, and I'm sitting there like, girl, everybody, they all laughing at you. She been out here looking like Boo Boo the Fool over these years. This man keep embarrassing her, was cheating on her. She kept taking him back because she need peen. Girl, he ain't the only community dick in the world. There's so many other men out here that you could be going after, but you choose community dick. And this is why I be telling y'all, stop marrying these dudes with community dick. You go in, get your back blown out, and send them on their merry way. You don't put a ring on it. And I feel like throughout her entire career, she's never really had the chance to enjoy her fame as a single woman. It's always been at the behest of Offset, or as I'm going to start calling him, Upset, because he was clearly upset when he was all over social media. And her, and you know her being, and this being Libra season, and her being a damn Libra, but they ain't got nothing to do with it, because she always Libra-ing. Her Libra always be Libra-ing. You know, she always takes to social media to air out her, you know, to let everybody know she pissed off. But I guess, you know, she's the reality star first, rapper second. So Cardi has reacted to estranged husband Offset, accusing her of cheating on him while she was pregnant. And here's what she said. She said, and did admitting it. Now, Cardi then reasoned that she was hurt by her ex while they were still together. She said, a hurt nooker will do the unthinkable. The mama three later asked for God's protection, right? Please, God, cover me from the evil I can't see. Child, you've been seeing that mess. He was in your, you know, evil was hiding in plain sight the whole damn time, but you kept taking it back. Because I feel like at your big age, which she's like, what, in her early 30s, she don't know no better. Her insecurities were showing. And I'm sorry, but Offset been Offset. Okay, I'm sorry. I keep calling him Offset. Upset been cheating on your behind throughout your entire marriage. And you tolerated it. And you thought, no matter, and there's no shade, sis, but I don't care how many times you go under the knife, you get a new body, you get a new face, you getting these new situations done to yourself. It's not going to keep that pain to you. It's just unfortunate that he can't admit that he is someone who cannot commit to one woman. And if that is the relationship that you want, Upset, you need to find a woman that's willing to just look the other way while you lay it low and spread it wide in other broads. Because Cardi don't seem like she's that girl, but she's going, you know, get upset. Because, you know, a lot of people like, you know, I'm sorry, no shade, but some of you Libras could be hella dramatic. So they like all that. So in a way, it's like when you continue to pull that into your life, that's what you're gonna keep getting. But I'm hoping that you're at a place where you know your worth, you realize this man ain't sugar honey iced tea, and you're willing to move on to bigger and better things. And I feel like this is where the energy from him is coming from. He's mad because Cardi gave back to him what he's been doing to her over the years. She gave him a taste of his own medicine, and he can't take it. You can't take it. You're just an overgrown orangutan. So yeah, now he mad. Why you mad though? Why you mad though? Why you mad though? Why you mad though? Everything is coming back to like either RuPaul's Drag Race. Shout out to Morgan B. Michaels for that horrible song, but it is a bop. And Paris is burning. That's where I'm getting all my references from. But anyway, so she gave him a taste of his own medicine, and now she's probably at this place like, you know what? I'm at a point in my life. The unfortunate part is that you got 3 kids with him. That's the messed up part. And I really hope at this point he's not going to try to pull no mess. Wait till, well, now I want a paternity test because you was banging some other ninja while you was pregnant. Maybe she didn't know she was pregnant. Or some people say the sex is better when you're pregnant. So that could have been a fetish or a turn on for the man that she got her back blown out by. And he probably was when they got together because she said that the reason why she got with him during that period that had, remember when she filed for the divorce and all this stuff back in November, and then we saw that they had gotten back together around New Year's, and she said she needed some bean. And so she got to run the Offset. I'm like, there's not a bunch of dudes out here that's trying to throw themselves at Cardi B. Like, she's not an ugly girl. So there's no dudes out here that's trying to throw themselves at her and wants to get up in them guts. But you want to settle for him. And quiet as it's kept, you know, a lot of people wasn't really listening to him like that. Like nobody's feeling Offset in that way. Maybe he's well known in certain circles, but as far as like the circles that Cardi B is being allowed to partake in, for, you know, Fashion Week and a lot of those elite spaces, they don't want Offset. They want her, and her cachet and her clout is what's getting him in those rooms. So some of y'all may not want to hear that, but it's a fact. And They were talking about that she showed her Instagram followers her crystal clear view of the Eiffel Tower and joked, waking up to this and no DICK is crazy. Well, girl, maybe you need to stop thinking about DICK so damn much. Cardi ended her social media coverage for the night by sharing a selfie video of her lip syncing the lyrics to the song Like by D-Thang and Bando. Or maybe it is because she part Dominican. You know them Dominicans are freaks. they sex drive me crazy. Meanwhile, also 32 chimed in on the social media post covering the drama, commenting, the fact you keep going shows you hurt. Leave alone. Don't you got a nooker? Ain't we divorced? Well, when you poking the bear, how do you expect her to react? You're the one that got her on social media and started saying this stuff back and forth. And they said that the rapper who filed for divorce of the Migos rapper in July shared the messages after her ex accused her of sleeping with someone while she was pregnant with their child during one of their Instagram lives. Said, "You effed with a baby inside. Tell the truth." The exes have been, in a tumultuous relationship. I've always said, like, you know what? Yeah, they've grown apart because I feel like and I really hope that what's happening with her is that she hasn't decided that Offset is the reason why she's held back a lot on releasing music because she's so caught up in all this other stuff. So I hope that he's not the reason why she hasn't really been as prominent in putting out music. So now I feel like at this point, now you leave the man alone, you go through with the divorce. I feel like there's no coming back from this. But I also feel that, it's unfortunate because these kids got to grow up and they're going to have to see all this stuff playing out on social media. Because, once you put something out on the internet, it's forever. I don't care how many times you delete it, how many times you remove it from the cloud, whatever the case is, whatever you want to call it. This situation is going to be out there in the street. And it is what it is. It's going to be out there. Like, you can't get rid of it. So I don't understand why y'all two have to be so damn immature and go on social media and out your dirty laundry. And the worst part of it is now you done ended all of us in the group chat and you leave yourself open for criticism. Everybody got something to say about it, including me. But now you open Pandora's box. And this is like, this man has embarrassed her over the years, people laughing at her. She got to sit and fight people on social media, because they making comments about her, calling her a bird and all this other stuff. But it is bird behavior, sis. And I like you, Cardi. But yeah, what you be doing is bird behavior. At a certain point, you got to grow up, you got to mature, and stop putting all this other stuff on social media. Channel all of this into a song, that long-awaited ass sophomore album. So yeah, take all this fuel and turn this tea into a song for a long overdue sophomore album. Maybe her and Jennifer Lopez need to collaborate on a song together because y'all both scoring women out here right now. Y'all both got bums for men, for husbands that y'all need to put on blast, allegedly. Well, Cardi more so than Jennifer. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all feel that, okay, while it is a cackle and good grist for our mill for us to be talking about, do you feel that Cardi needs to just leave this man alone, go through the divorce, take care of your kids because they're your priority? First of all, quiet as it's kept, she make more money than him any damn way. So yeah, there's a lot of drama that's going on with them as far as like, the splitting of their assets. So it's going to be a long, drawn out, crazy process because now they got to figure out, in regards to how they split the property things because they own property together. And then, did she sign a prenup when she was married to him? So there's a whole lot of craziness, I guess, a tangled web they're going to have to unweave with that part. Focus on that and getting that man out your life. Can't say forever because apparently you are stuck together with him forever because you have children. So unfortunately, you're going to have to always mess with Offset. If you was with him and you never had any kids, you could just leave him back there. But right now, y'all stuck because you decided to lay alone and spread it wide and have 3 children with him, which I understand because y'all married. But when this man is unfaithful and you thinking that, going under the knife and taking care of your body, getting a new nose, new titties, new ass, new whatever, is going to keep that man coming when he going to find the next new coochie that he want to slide his meat up in and move on to the next thing. It don't matter how many times you change your body or how pretty you make yourself. Beyonce got cheated on by Jay-Z. She ain't leaving him. Halle Berry been cheated on numerous times. She's the most gorgeous woman on the planet, in my opinion. One of the, I said. I didn't say the. So there's a lot of people out here that look good, but they're insecure behind men run around and cheat for whatever reason. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. And you said then Ken Barbie and Armand Wiggins went at, oh, they did? Oh, bitch, what happened? Why these two queens fighting? Inquiring minds want to know. Because, Armand stay out here, with these rap girlies. And, they was clowning him because they was like, all that shit you've been talking about Nicki Minaj, and all of a sudden you go and pop up at her LA show. Well, look, unlike him, I went to Nicki Minaj's show and I had to pay for it because I worked it. Y'all got to pay for them tickets. Okay, let me not be shady in that way, but you know what I'm saying. Because I got to work the show. I didn't have to pay a ticket to watch it. Because ain't no way in hell that I'm working these events and I gotta sit up in here and pay $1,200 and sit up to watch some show. But yeah, inquiring minds want to know why they fighting. I may have to look that up. Armand always fighting with somebody, and I like Armand, but he always out here fighting with these girls on social media. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about my girl, Wendy Williams. How you doing? So, Wendy's in the news again, and this time it's at the hands of her no good ass ex-husband. Speaking of which, because we're going to go from one trash behind ex-husband, soon to be, which was Offset, and now we're going to talk about this bum. So, Wendy Williams' ex-husband, Kelvin, is demanding that Wendy attend the hearings as he challenges her legal guardian's right to represent her in a New Jersey court. Because, Kelvin need money. Ever since he let Miss Wendy alone, she divorced him and all this other stuff, and that well ran dry, and he could no longer give coin titles to his mistress, who he knocked up. He's hurting for money. Because what job Kelvin got? He was living the lavish life off of Sabrina. I mean, not off of Sabrina. Sabrina Morrissey, that's the guardian. Sharina is the big mama. So new filings from Wendy and Kelvin's divorce, obtained exclusively by the U.S. Sun, show Kelvin has argued her New York-based guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, is not allowed to represent her in the New Jersey court. Additionally, the judge on the case has given Sabrina 21 days to prove to the court that she has the authority to represent Wendy, who is 60, in the Garden State. In a filing in July, Kelvin argued that Wendy's guardian is not an attorney barred in New Jersey, and he questioned her right to represent the former TV host. But it's a good damn question. I'm glad he's bringing this to fruition, because she out here trying to file her own damn lawsuits. And I'm sitting there like, so if you're supposed to be her court-appointed guardian, you didn't have a say so in regards to whether or not she did that docuseries over there on Lifetime that you sitting there talking about that she was taking advantage of, but she was lowballed and paid and all this other stuff. Her manager should have been dealing with that. You being a court-appointed guardian, I'm sure things had to come across your desk and you had to prove it. I mean, isn't that what a guardian does? Because when Britney Spears was under a similar conservatorship, who they have to go through? Jamie Spears. So for him to go up in there and pull that same narrative, not that he has, but I'm saying, if he pulled that same narrative, we all be side-eyeing him. Oh, I didn't know. But we all know that everything had to go through him and probably a multitude of other people for things to be approved. So I'm not buying this in regards to the whole Sabrina thing. So I'm glad that he's bringing this up, but you want to know something? This is a case of right message, wrong messenger, because I don't trust Kelvin as far as I could throw him. He another shiesty, and I don't think he ever loved Wendy because he cheated on her. Another damn Offset. See, I tell you, I've been comparing the two. You cheated on her throughout your entire marriage, 20-something odd year marriage, and Wendy put up with it. She self-medicated with the alcohol from the stories we heard. And she just put her head down and raised her son. And then when Lil Kev got old enough, and then this fool decided to knock up his mistress, all the while taking that money that you was making from being Wendy's manager, buying a whole house a couple of miles away, while you was up in here laying alone and spreading it wild with your mistress, and y'all sitting there living vicariously on Wendy's coin. Now you want us to feel something for you. So he went on to say, it is conceivable that based on the history of Miss Morrissey as it relates to allegations of malfeasance regarding persons that she is the guardian in New York, that Miss Wendy Williams may not need a guardian according to the laws of the state of New Jersey. Well, based off her mental situation with the frontal temporal, dementia and the aphasia, Maybe she does need a guardian, or not a guardian per se, as in Sabrina Morrissey. I actually found a picture of Kelvin where he actually looks decent. um, if if that's the case, it's like, to me, I would rather her son, members of the family, help her out versus this lady who don't really know nothing about Wendy. So they said Kevin took issue with Wendy's guardian Sabrina continuing to represent the host in her divorce, and added the defendant asked that the court sanction Ms. Morrissey and prohibit her from appearing in court as a pro se litigant. Pro se, by definition, is a term that means you are representing yourself in court without a lawyer, and therefore Ms. Morrissey has no legal standing in this proceeding. Excuse me. Ms. Morrissey is not a party to the divorce, therefore should not be involved in this proceeding. Well, aren't they divorced already? And they also said on September 13th, the judge in the case wrote in his order that he is responding to Kelvin's request to preclude the appearance of Ms. Sabrina E. Morrissey as guardian for plaintiff Wendy, and that Ms. Morrissey shall comply with NJSA 3B 12B-18 to the extent that she has not already done so. Okay, what does all that mean? I don't speak court jive. I don't speak court jargon. So what does all that mean? And so they said Kelvin has been in divorce court fighting for what he says is money still owed to him from his and the former TV host marital settlement agreement. According to Wendy's ex, his payment suddenly ceased when Wells Fargo froze the star's accounts back in 2022, and Sabrina was put in place as Wendy's temporary guardian. Wendy's ex also argued that he was promised access to his ex's financial records by her guardian but never received them. First of all, I don't know how you going to talk about you going to have access to my money. Where they do that at? Or the documents regarding my finances, that's none of your damn business. But I guess when she's the breadwinner, he feels like he is entitled to it because he want to see how much he can get out of it. That's why I said this ain't even about Wendy. Because the fact of the matter is, you can't get a job nowhere, or you probably were so used to the lavish lifestyle that you've been accustomed to that you don't want to go out and humble yourself and get a regular job. You want Wendy's cointadas to pay, support you for the rest of your life. But wasn't there something or another that, they said if she stopped working with the talk show and all this other stuff, then the money would seize on, that he would no longer get access to her money? So they said that during one meeting between the parties in December, the mediator told her ex and his team the reality is that there is no more money. The insider alleged that despite the mediator's claims that Wendy has no more money, there was no proof offered to them to support the allegation. Kevin has repeatedly asked for Wendy's financial records since reopening the divorce after his payment ceased. The daytime TV star also claimed herself during the She claimed during the Where is Wendy Williams Lifetime documentary. She said she has no money. And let me tell you something. If it happens to me, it can happen to you. And that's what she declared. Now, it's unfortunate. I miss Wendy. Wendy is definitely someone who I've always said over the years is a mentor in regards of who has always inspired me in regards to getting into the celebrity news and gospel space. It's funny, like some people wake up, they want to be an astronaut, they want to be a doctor, they want to be a lawyer. I always want to get on and be I always knew I had the gift of gab since I was a kid. So anything that have to do with entertainment and news and not necessarily gossip, even though that's what I do, but film, music, anything in the arts, and talking about it and breaking things down and stuff, that has always been a space that I've always wanted to get into. So, Wendy was somebody who basically is one of the many people that has inspired me to do what I do. So it's unfortunate to see like where she is in her life and the things that has happened to her and the vultures that have been around her that has been taking advantage of her, especially that husband of hers over the years. I don't necessarily know if he's going to be able to get a little money or whatever out of the situation, but I will definitely keep my eyes on this story as it develops and see if Kelvin is going to be able to get a little coin, but I hope he don't, because all the things you did to Wendy over the years, you need to go out and get you, a license and go be a truck driver or something. Because look, over the years, remember, once upon a time in the past, he was using that money that he was accumulating for being married to Wendy and funneling a lot of Sabrina Sharena's business endeavors, and they all fail. Remember the vegan pancake business and all this other stuff that she had going on, and it's like every time she tried to come up with something, of course Kelvin was funneling it with, like I said, with Wendy's money. The money he was making from her, because yes, he was married to Wendy, but he was an employee. He was her manager, so she was paying him. He was using that money to spoil this girl, buying cars, living a lavish life, and investing in her business affairs, and they was all failing. So whatever your thoughts are on this story, let me know in the comments down below. Oh yeah, you said can't expose the audio with him and Cardi. Oh, you talking about Armand and Cardi? Because yeah, they were talking about, like, look, they be calling him a flip flopper, they be calling him all kinds of stuff because what was it? Because it's like, oh, you be going, like, to me, I feel like if you're gonna get in this space, you should be neutral in a lot of things when it comes to your opinion. Like, even if there's things, if Nicki Minaj came out and did something, whether positive or negative, I'm going to talk about it. If Cardi did something, whether positive or negative, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to be as neutral as possible. It doesn't mean I hate these people. I don't hate anybody because if I don't know you to hate you. And even if I did know you, I don't go around hating people. I don't like having that kind of energy because, first of all, I ain't getting no ulcers. I'm not getting wrinkles. I'm not getting crow's feet. I don't want to be looking like I'm 85 when I'm 45. So we're not going to be doing all of that. So I don't sit up here walking around with that kind of energy. But when you go around in 1 minute, you want to dog this one, but then you go on hanging out at this event, and then all of a sudden, weeks later, you're going to have fallen out with this person. It's that Gemini energy. That's why I can't be around it, that two-facedness. So that's probably where I think that a lot of people be getting at when it comes to people like him. So if he got an audio with him and Cardi, well, child, I need to hear that. But then all of a sudden, then you going in there doing, oh, I'm gonna do a review of Pink Friday 2, and I'm gonna go to the show, and I'm gonna be looking a mess with this big old coat on and a crop top, and the body is bodying, but it's like, okay, you giving Butch Queen with this outfit. But yeah, so and I like Ken Barbie. Ken Barbie's a mess. Not a mess, messy. And I live for mess. So it's like, is Gaga our generation's Judy Garland as a yeah. I feel like that's where she fits more. She gives me more lounge singer. She gives me more juke joint. She gives me more, oh, they get happy, running down their lives away. Like, she gives me very much that. I see like she does the whole Madonna thing because that's what worked and got her through the door. But I feel like the real Gaga is Miss Show Tune. Like, she gives me Broadway tease. She gives me, put me on a small little stage with a microphone and a nice little gown, and I get to twirl around the stage with a gown on with fur at the bottom, like one of those, those coat. Like, she gives me Auntie Mame. She's very Auntie Mame in the way she carries herself, and that's why I would like to see her. Like, I truly feel like if Gaga wanted to, I believe she needs to do Broadway. I would love to see her kind of be like morph into her generation's Patti LuPone in some sort of way, minus the shade and the attitude. But then again, I like Patti LuPone being shady because, I live for my divas where they just be like, say it like you mean it. Exactly. Well, I know that he's not getting a regular job. Oh, speaking of which, sidebar. So I will say this because we talked about it before, but I didn't tell you this. So you got me. Remember when we were talking about like the whole Halloween thing and Stephen King and all that other stuff? So right after I did the show, I actually compiled the list, 5 honorable mentions and 10 Stephen King adaptations of his books into movies. So I'm going to put that together. Well, I've already put it together. I have everything. I have it in a draft. I haven't pressed published yet, but I'm definitely going to use that as like a special episode next month. So it's already been done. I spent 2 days on it, put it all together, try to formulate all my words. And it was hard because I was like, damn, I got to find a top 10 of Stephen King adapted books that were good movies that I like. And then I had to do 5 honorable mentions. So it's going to be a top 15 in a way, but the 5 is the honorable mentions, 10 is the top 10. So yeah, that is going to be coming in October. And I'm thinking I want to do some other ones too. Like maybe I could do like one a week where it's just like playing into the month, and I could do like one with slashers, final girls, that sort of thing. So let me know what y'all think about that. But yeah, the one with the Stephen King thing, I already have that done. Maybe I'll drop that one next week. We'll do that one because when the new Salem's Lot comes out, and I can talk about that and then bring up the top 10 because that's supposed to be coming out, I believe, next Friday, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I keep hearing stories that he's not. That I feel like after that well ran dry, that she took her in Journey and went back to North Carolina. Agreed. I think that's the problem that a lot of people have with him. And it's like when they talk about, everybody's a flip flopper. Everybody like who? Because I'm not a flip flopper. Like I can change my mind on things, but I don't flip flop when it comes to people. I'm not your friend today and then I hate you tomorrow. Like me, I like, as a Virgo, we like consistency. We don't really like change. It's like, show me who you are in the beginning. If you don't like me, if you shady, if you a bitch, if you're nice, I want to know that from the beginning. Now I know everybody has their moves and they could change whatever, but don't sit up in my face and act like you my friend today and then you hate my guts tomorrow. I don't like that because then it's like I can't trust you. We're big on like trust and stuff and who we invite in our inner circle. So we like people to keep it real. And I feel like, yeah, I don't like the flip flopping. And that's what a lot of people was calling him out on. That's so it's like you fell out. You was Team Cardi for a long time, then you fell out with her, and then you went back to Nicki. Which, if when it comes down to Nicki, I wouldn't trust it because it's like you never. When people show you who they are, as Maya Angelou said, believe them the first time. Okay, so now let's move on. Excuse me. Let's talk about DL Hughley, who's been going in on Miss Jackson. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, but not really. Cause DL ain't sorry. So yeah, he said that she was being malicious in her shade against Kamala. Mamala. My name is Kamala. So he said that she know good and damn well that she was what she was doing by questioning Kamala Harris's race and thinks Janet wants to hurt the Veep. The comedian recently doubled down on his claims about the singer, stating that she was spreading Donald Trump's lies despite the truth. He echoed similar sentiments to his previous clapback, alleging that Janet wished to be white. But she ain't the only one, because I feel like a lot of the members in that family wishes that they were. Look, once upon a time, Michael Jackson sang about it don't matter if you black or white. And I do feel like a lot of the members of the family want to be white. Because if you look at all them kids, and it's no shade to being multiracial or biracial, because I'm someone who's also multiracial. But the overall slave mentality behind that, like, I don't like that. Like I feel like someone like me, I'm aware of my privilege, but I also have empathy for those who go through discrimination and that sort of thing. And that's what we was thinking that Janet was all about. But when she came out and said what she said recently, where she was doubling down, even when the reporter was basically correcting her on her misinformation, she doubled down on it and refuses to apologize because people are saying that they feel like people are in a circle, allegedly, that Randy has too much control, that she's giving him too much control of her affairs. She's already on tour overseas. I saw them pictures online that she's out in London doing her little show. Well, her four backup dancers doing the same goddamn Rhythm Nation control Black Cat routine. You know the choreography ain't changed since '85. So they said the bad blood between Jackson and D.L. Hughley began after the Rhythm Nation musician claimed Kamala Harris wasn't a black woman. Her comments mirrored Donald Trump's statements about the VP's race early in July. And I also went in on somebody on social media because they were trying to say, oh, Kamala's right. I mean, not Kamala. They were like, Janet's right. She's not black. I'm like, according to who? And she said, this girl had a nerve to fix something out and say, according to Black America. I'm like, who is Black America? Because you don't speak for them. You don't get to determine. You are not the litmus test on who is black and who isn't black. And those are a lot of them slavery talking points that a lot of masses and people of that nature has indoctrinated in people of color. Oh, and they want to sit up here and tell you what is black and what isn't black, because I guarantee you this, and I'm going to say it till the cows come home. If Kamala Harris was pulled over today, they ain't looking at a half Indian, half black woman. They looking at a ninja. Trust and believe. These white folks ain't looking at y'all in that way. It's the same thing when y'all want to talk about the Haitians and all this other stuff. They can't tell the difference between a Haitian and a Jamaican and a Dominican. If you brown, if you black, that's what they see. They're not sitting there pulling out a little one of them, a little wand or one of those machines that they be using for Ghostbusters, if this is going to determine whether or not your nationality, your racial background, or whatever all that is. A lot of them don't give a damn. So while y'all with the infighting, look at the bigger picture. So the conversation about Harris's race began in July when Trump claimed that he never knew she was black until she steadily started to identify as a black woman. Mind you, she went to a damn HBCU and pledged in a black sorority, but you didn't know that. But he don't even know nothing about. I wouldn't even be surprised if he don't know nothing about his own damn kids or his own personal life. So the nasty singer wasn't the only celebrity Hughley had a bone to pick with. He also went in on Pharrell because Pharrell, dumb behind, went down and said this, but child, just stay over there at Louis Vuitton and act like you sewing suitcases and outfits and stay out of the politics. Because he said that A-listers need to keep their political beliefs to themselves, which I don't agree with because I feel like art and politics have always kind of blurred the lines depending on who it is. And if you feel in your heart that you need to be political in certain situations, if you put politics into your art, whether it is music, fashion, film, whatever it is that you're doing, if you feel compelled to do that, then you could do that. I don't feel like every celebrity has to be political, but politics has always been morphed into pop culture. So where the hell has he been? Just stay over there, be safe with your little swirly wife, and make your little coin with Louis Vuitton and stay out of grown folk business. So I don't agree. And I like Pharrell. I like your music and a little stuff, but stay out of it. So he argued that every social issue had a political remedy. Therefore, celebrities need to get involved in politics if they wish to usher in changes. This belief seemingly sparked Hughley's vocal support for Harris's campaign. The comedian has actively promoted the VP and was one of the first stars to come to her defense following Jackson's race comments. The blast reported that he bashed the latter on Twitter in a series of tweets. Hughley called out Jackson for spreading false claims about Harris, claiming her racial comments stemmed from her support for Trump. He found her questions about the VP's race hypocritical, writing the following. Hashtag Janet Jackson's interview sounded like a hashtag Trump rally. FYI, it's a little ironic to question whether someone is black while you breathing through the nose of a white woman. Now, despite getting bashed for his words, the criticism only fueled Hughley's desire to slam Jackson, and he doubled down on his comments in a second Twitter post stressing, all I know is Kamala Harris, well, hashtag Kamala, looks like she did when she was in Oakland, but Janet don't look like look like she did when she was Penny. What the hell was in that iron? You know what? Hughley continued bashing Jackson for allegedly altering her facial features and stressing that she was not entitled to judge Harris. He refuted her claims about the VP's father, writing, hashtag Kamala Harris looks the way she does because she has a mom from India and a dad from Jamaica. Hashtag Janet Jackson looks like the way she does because she has a plastic surgeon. Well, damn, he was going in on her. But you know what? They all changed their faces. If they like themselves so damn much, why did y'all need to go under the knife? Because Joe Jackson, no good behind, was out here verbally abusing all his damn kids and making y'all feel like crap. So y'all was out here getting all kinds of ailments. Y'all all don't have your natural nose. Or maybe I need to look at all their noses and see. Because I think they all went to the same surgeon. And don't even get me started on Michael Jackson, who went and changed his whole entire ethnicity. Now I understand if you got vitiligo, but nobody with vitiligo damn near look like they full on, they just full on white, pale. Like you got like you an albino damn near. With one of Annalise Keating's wigs on. So Hughley's comments about Jackson came at the heels of her manager's dismissal. As this guy who was going around by the name of Mo El Masri, who claimed that he was dismissed for trying to save her image and apologize to the VP. But people were saying that they don't even know if he was in her inner circle or if he was her manager. So we don't even know. And like I said, the fact that we got Randy out here controlling her career, and I don't see her coming out apologizing for Kamala's black lineage. She's going to remain silent. I don't feel like she's going to come out and say anything. I don't think she's going to get ahead of this. I just feel like she's just going to stand 10 toes down on the foolishness. And she thinks by just out here doing the same damn two-step, that that's the way love goes, that it's going to change the narrative and people going to move on. Now, if y'all want to sit up here and turn a blind eye and think that just because she's this big superstar that we need to offer her grace, I'm all for offering people grace if they realize that they screwed up and they're willing to apologize. But if you're going to stand 10 toes down in your ignorance, you're going to get called out. And I do not agree. I don't care if it was Jesus Christ coming down off a cross at this point. If you say something stupid, you're going to get read for it. No one is beyond reproach. I don't know why she's getting this pass all of a sudden. I don't know why people are willing to look the other way because of stupidness that's coming out of her damn mouth, especially when she is in a position of someone who has spoken out over the years in regards of social injustice. So I don't know why all of a sudden now everybody got short-term memory and is willing to give Miss Penny the benefit of the doubt. When does she become exempt from criticism? So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Now that was a cackle with D.L. Hughley, what he was saying about her, but it's like with him, myself, and even Roland Martin, I'm like, I'm glad I'm not the only one out here that, because, I've been going back and forth with people on social media, and I don't argue. I'll be like, argue with your mammy. I don't want to hear it. Like, I just give my opinion. I said what I said, and I said we can get up in here and disagree or agree respectfully. But when you get slick with your mouth, then it's going to be a problem. So, what do y'all think of this story? I say, let's just say, let me know what, good, bad, or indifferent. Let me know what you think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so now we got a lot of comments. Yeah, let's scroll on up because I knew this was going to be a big one that everybody wants to jump in on. I don't know why they dragging her, or Janet said that it's what she heard. Yeah, that's what. No, she ain't said it was from him. She said it's all I heard. A lot of people made the assumption that is that Randy is getting in her ear, because when people started doing their sleuthing, the sleuth started sleuthing. The implication was, oh, so Randy is a staunch Trump supporter and a Republican and bleeds, full on conservative, and has been kind of getting in Janet's ear, and probably has I don't know if she's living out in London, wherever they live in, they probably have the TV or whatever on a lot of conservative stations, and she's hearing all this. But to be honest, a lot of mainstream media is conservative. Mark Cuban came out and said that recently. A lot of the media that's out here leans conservative, but I've been saying that over the years. I'm like, all the news y'all watch, trust and believe. Y'all think MSNBC and CNN and the main conservative? You don't think that the local news you watch leans conservative? It's all conservative. That's why I don't watch a lot of this news, because it's a joke. And they don't really get into the meat and potatoes of what's really going on in the world. So he's dragging her because she refuses to apologize for being misinformed, that she continues to stand 10 toes down in what she's saying. So that's where the read is coming from. It's like, I'm willing to offer someone grace. Everybody makes mistakes. We're all, I was going to say we're not human, but we're all human beings. So we're all going to say something that is going to be, a screw up or whatever. We all screw up. I've said things that has not always been accurate. It's not intentional, but if I make a mistake, I apologize, because I'm man enough to do that. She should be able to do the same thing. But you out here to be like, oh yeah, I'm not going to apologize for it. It kind of makes me wonder, where do you lean politically? And the way people think from how they was when they was younger, when they get older, a lot of people change their political policies and political views and lean more conservative than they were liberal. It is known that Joe Jackson's family are big, all that self-hatred. She didn't. And Kamala isn't a black woman. She's biracial, and that's okay. Well, look, nobody's running around here with the whole biracial. We're the only ones in America that get caught up in all that stuff. But, like I said, at the end of the day, when she gets pulled over by the police or whatever the case is, that's what they looking at. They ain't looking at the fact that this lady got a slight tan, or she's biracial, and all this other stuff. We the only ones that get caught up in these labels. And she said what she said, people are pressed, they will be okay. Life goes on. Sure does. They wrote a song about it. Black folks keep falling for the Kool-Aid. She better fix it. She has a Vegas show coming up. But we'll see how well that does, unless y'all want to keep paying to watch the same goddamn two set with the same four backup dancers and the same tie looking costumes where she buttoned up all the way at the neck. And they said, I disagree. White people know the difference. They pretend they don't until they point it out or put certain individuals. They don't sit up in here and know any difference between a Haitian or a Jamaican. They ain't thinking about all that. Trust and believe, white people ain't sitting up here being all distinctive in regards of people of color. Now, when it comes to things that's going on in regards of race, a lot of times I do agree that white people have racial blind spots. If it don't affect them, they not worrying about it. A lot of times people only care about things that affects them. Racism and all this other stuff they feel does not affect them. And when it comes down to it, when when it comes to things going on in the world, why do you think they be running around saying, well, I'm tired of y'all bringing up slavery and y'all bringing up this and you're bringing up that and this, that whole guilt thing. They don't like when y'all bring that because they're making them trying to feel like, oh, well, you trying to make us pay for something that happened 40 years ago, 50 years. And it's like, no, that's not what we're doing. We're just trying to make you aware of things that's going on. But if you choose to ignore it, then yeah, that's a case of ignorance. She do need to get rid of him, but who wants to manage her at this point? A black man bashing a black woman to defend a biracial woman. It tells all this time. Don't write Beauty and the Beast. Rebe got her nose. They all did. And they said, well, she's London. So she said, yeah, they do. But look, I just can't look. I'm at this point. I can't wait for this whole political race thing be over. You know, this whole thing between her and Trump, I'm over it. November can't get here fast enough. But I don't want to rush October. I need to have my Halloween. I need my month to happen. And I'll take our time with it. They said the one I disagree with is Kamala's dad being white, which is not true. But other than that, she didn't say anything. Well, are we going to nitpick, sir? Because I'm sitting here saying that when you say how Kamala's dad being white, that's what I said. She is misinformed. That is the part that they're saying they're getting on her on. The fact that I heard he's white. I heard he's white. When she continued to push that after the reporter said it's not true, this is where the dragation is coming from. That you're pointing out these QAnon, Trump supporting conservative, talking points. And even when I'm saying this is not true, her father is Jamaican. Her mother is from India. Well, that's not what I heard. I heard he white. Okay, sis. So now I'm going to just let you run off with your mouth before I cuss you out. And I'm just saying that in general. It's like, okay, so now I'm like, we're having a conversation. Now you're trying to be funny. Now you're trying to play in my face with your little cup and your little giggle or whatever it is, the little passive aggressive stuff that she was doing in the interview, according to the way they wrote it. And it's like, okay, I'm done with you. We're done with the conversation. I think Randy's daughter put him on. Oh, did she? I may have to look into that story because I feel like that we need to do a little more digging. That's why I say it's like it goes beyond the whole Janet thing. Like we did the story the other day, and I need to cut that up and put up online. That we need to look beyond what Janet said and realize who is she surrounding herself with, who is feeding her this information. Let's start digging into Randy and knowing what's really going on with him and how he's got a lot of influence over her and how she's easily swayed by certain people, particularly when it comes to the type of men she gets with too. And so I meant that black and biracial people, they know the difference. They probably do. The reporter was trying to save her. That's why I said it was the reporter was trying to tell her, it's not true that this is not a fact. This is the fact, but you continue to go along with it. And if you're going to continue to roll with the homies, then okay. Rolling with the homies. I don't know why that song just popped in my head all of a sudden. But anyway, let's move on to our final topic. And let's talk about Lady Gaga that just, she's giving us insight into when her new album's coming out. So she does have an album, LG7, that's supposed to be coming out sometime in February. She did mention that. We already know about that. But she did release today Harlequin, which is a series of covers. She's a lot of jazz music. Folie à Deux coming out next week. The mixed reviews have been mixing. The mixed reviews are mixing. People are saying that it's not tracking as well to be as big as the original Joker at the box office. Whatever. Like I said, I'm not a real big fan of the Joker movie. I'm going to wait until the show, it comes on HBO Max or one of those, I'll watch it. But for the most part, I really don't care about this whole thing in regards to that. Also, there's rumors that she's not even in the movie as much. that they've been hyping her up as being a prominent part in the film, but she's really not in the film as much as they've been alluding in the trailer. So this album that she has coming out is they're calling it LG 6.5 because she already has 6 albums out already. But this is 6.5, the Harley Quinn album. I've been hearing mixed reviews on it. Some of my friends like it. Earlier in the show, before we even went live, I know Onyx said that he likes it or they like it. I'll be neutral with it. That they said that they like it. So, I'm like, okay, well, a lot of people like it. I've heard some of the songs. It's kind of got that whole, juke joint, jazzy vibe or whatever. And, Lady Gaga, one of the things we can't take from her, she is immensely talented. So you can say what you want about her, but I will never take away from the fact that, yeah, she's an amazing singer. She's a showwoman. She definitely, sells these songs. But she said it has so much of the music that's in The Joker, as well as some original pieces that I wrote for the film, and one that's for the album only, which is called Happy Mistake. She also went to confirm the release window of LG7, her next full-length studio album following 2020's Chromatica. Damn, it's been that long since she released Chromatica. And it's funny how Onyx also said he liked it more so than Chromatica. And I was like, okay, let me find out. He was like, you liked it better? Well, quiet as it's kept. I don't really listen to Chromatica as much. There's certain songs I listen to from there. I don't feel like that was her best body of work. But it was cute that she went back to basics with the dance music. So she said, my studio album is coming out in February and my first single is coming out really soon. So I'm excited about that too. And yeah, because they have this picture here. Oh, because she's dissing on her upcoming album. I think she talked to the Associated Press. So hold on, let's pull that clip up. And then, why is Ann dead trending on social media?
So just happy to finally announce my album Harlequin, which is coming out on September 27th, and it's a companion album for the film. So it has so much of the music that's in Joker, as well as some original pieces that I wrote for the film, and one that's for the album only, which is called Happy Mistake. And it's all these like really interesting original productions.
And just how busy have you been? There's studio album coming out in October as well. So yeah.
Yeah, my studio album is coming out in February, and my first single is coming out really soon. So I'm excited about that too. I'm so just happy to finally.
Okay, so there is that. Hold on, because I was like, let me close this window. So yeah. So there you have it. We have the new album when that's coming out. And I'm looking forward to hearing it because I've heard that, okay, in regards to the music or whatever the case is, that is back to basics not back to basics, but back to form with the record, where I think that it's going to be more, well, from what we heard, it's kind of got this dark industrial type of sound. And I've always been a fan, as I've told y'all many times on the show. I like industrial music. I listen to a lot of the industrial type of sounds. So I'm curious to hear what she's going to be bringing with this new record. And it's probably going to be a fun, happy record. I mean, she's at a point in her life where she is happy. So I'm hoping that comes through in regards to that. So, yeah. So I feel like that's all I got to say on that. So yeah, I will say this. I am excited for the new music. I'm excited to hear what it brings. And then when the single comes out, we'll definitely talk about it on this here show. So I say, well, this is the same. What do y'all think of this story? Are you excited for LG7? And what do y'all think of LG 6.5 in regards of, the Harlequin album? Are you feeling it? I mean, I know a lot of people want Pop Gaga back. I was hearing that even from a friend of mine. They were like, this album is not giving me what I need, because I guess they don't like that genre of music. They prefer the pop stuff. They like when she does more of the dancey things. And I'm hearing that a lot of people are feeling the new Kylie single, which I will agree, Lights, Camera, Action is the better song, but that's Kylie giving the gays and, her fans, particularly the gays, I guess I'll just say, what they want. So people are really excited for the new Kylie music, more so than they are with this Gaga Harley Quinn thing. But it's a companion album. It's her, I'm Breathless, basically. If you know, you know. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, you said, it's funny, her and I have the same birthday, but I'm 10 years older. Oh, wait, when was she born? In March? What, I'm trying to think, when is her birthday? I'm like, wait a minute, is she a Pisces? But anyway, but that is cool that you have, like, I always wonder, like, when it comes to people that I know, it's like, oh yeah, so is March 28th, so she's not a Pisces, she's after Pisces. What is that? That sign? That ain't Cancer. It can't be Aquarius. Aquarius is in Aquarius is age of Aquarius. That's after Capricorn. So I always wonder, like, whenever I know people, like, who is the celebrity that they share birthdays with? Like, with me, I already told you, oh, that's Aries. So I know, like, with the people that I share a birthday with, I told you I share a birthday with, it's me, Cat Williams, Salma Hayek, and Keanu Reeves. Like, those are the people I share a birthday with on September 2nd. And you have Lady Gaga. But anyway, so yeah, we are at the end of the show. I want to thank you all for tuning into this episode. I'm going to try to jump on and give you all an episode this weekend. I might actually have some free time in the next couple of days, which is surprising. Because once October get here, yeah, I'm going to be busy again. So yeah, I'm going to be trying to give y'all a bunch of shows. I'll probably jump on this weekend. Oh, you said Reba McEntire as well. If you have not already, please hit that like button, that subscribe button, also smash that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. If I'm not able to give you all a show tomorrow, I'll definitely be on Sunday and give you all a show. And then possibly Monday and Tuesday. I'm going to try to fit it all within my schedule as I normally do. So thank you all for being in the comments and chatting with me and all this good stuff. Let me run up out of here because I want to get in a quick workout and then I need to go work this Jelly Roll show tonight. So if y'all see me out, if you in New York, you see me at the Jelly Roll show, how you doing? Then I'll be working it. So love you all for watching. And until next time, ciao, darlings.